We're live. Mark, do something.
The point, Pete. You forgot the point.
Oh.
Hey, ballers, welcome to If These Balls Could Talk, the podcast that will always listen to your feelings unless there's a really good game on. This is Mark along with John and our producer Pete, and we're ready to discuss the latest in sports, tech, and pop culture. I told you it wasn't so great this time around, guys.
You know, that reminds me, the game's on. No, that was brilliant, because now I remember the game's on.
Fantastic.
The game is on.
No, last week's was on point because it was definitely a recount of the week before because Pete keeps forgetting that Southern Tier bought 716.
I saw
yes,
the
and I
funniest
do keep forgetting that.
memes
Yes.
today. You know, do you like those memes where like it's playing like a video and it puts like sports emblems on the characters' faces? What was the time where Mickey Mouse beat the shit out of one of the guys on South Park? And so Mickey Mouse was the Lions, and the guy getting his ass kicked was the Vikings. And essentially, the Lions last week showed the Vikings who was boss.
Amazing.
And
That's true.
It was pretty bad.
The Vikings were the Lions bitch last week, and they're playing again tonight. And
Ooh, somebody got
big
hurt.
lineman just got hurt. Yeah.
Darius
Anyway,
on.
joining us tonight is our longtime friend and podcast regular, Jefim Piekarz. Good evening, Jefim, and how are things with you?
Good evening, gents. Things are good.
Jeff's
Thank you
back.
for asking. I'm back. I'm back in the saddle again.
He's back.
Back in the saddle again.
Is this back in my lucky sevens? Are we back at that?
No,
It
you
was
were
Lucky
doing
Eights
You were doing
before.
episode 8.
You're at
and now
episode 8.
You
this is
preempted
episode 7.
one episode.
Shoot.
We're all
Sorry,
over the
guys.
place now. Although we are coming up to our 2-year anniversary very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it
Pretty
or
awesome.
not. Believe it or not, we're going on 2 years.
Nice.
Pete,
And-
remember when that was our answering machine?
That was the greatest
song?
answering
remember
machine.
that.
Yes.
Okay, so for the non-elder millennials and millennials, you used to have to call and record something on a tape player.
A cassette
would
tape would
play.
record
It was
a
really
message.
fucking stupid. It was really stupid.
You know, I was lately I've been streaming like old sitcoms, and the one that I'm doing right now is Cheers,
Hmm.
and they just had for those that don't know, Cheers was a sitcom based out of about a bar in the Boston area, and the most
been
recent episode that was aired was that Sam Malone, who is Ted Danson, the owner of the bar of Cheers, just bought this high state-of-the-art answering machine top of the line, and I'm looking at it, it's like that's definitely not top of the line, at least in today's standards.
Yeah, we
Anyway,
had the
times have changed.
greatest American Hero
Times
theme
have
on ours,
changed.
and we also had U2
Yep, Vertigo.
Vertigo, yeah.
I remember Vertigo.
Please leave a message at the
Yeah, there you
beep.
You know, we're totally dating ourselves
Yeah.
right now, though, right?
I mean, we're very old.
We're very
it's
millennials.
bad.
You're
Very
dating
old.
yourself.
You know,
anyway, John, how you been?
I am excellent. Agatha All Along was amazing this week.
I did
Whoever's
watch
not
it.
watching
I
it should
finally
watch it.
I am caught up.
I just watched the episode tonight.
Oh, this
literally before I
episode was
came
a
on.
mind fuck,
Hmm.
The
or should I say a
payoff-
time fuck?
The payoff for
Oh.
one of the characters that they've literally been doing all season was incredible and totally worthwhile. Jamie and I are also watching High Potential on Hulu.
Is that any good?
It's so good. She's
It's
so
gotten
funny.
It's gotten so much hype, and I like Caitlin Olsen and whatnot, but I don't know.
I did not think I would buy her leading a show. Same thing I said about
Yeah.
Catherine Hahn, but
Does
she's
it-
great.
Does it have a lot of potential?
She's like a genius, but
Yeah, it's like completely different from her role in
the rub
Sunny.
is that because
Hmm.
she's a genius, she's on the spectrum, so she her life is kind of shambles because she's on the spectrum, and she solves murders. So it's a murder of the
Cool.
week. Jamie loves whodunits. We literally home one day, and I was like, "Hey, I have a proposition," and I showed her the trailer. She's like, "I'm in." So we watched every episode that was available that day, and we've been doing them. This is our second weekly. So that was really good. Jamie,
Good ice
a lot
cream
to do
today?
tonight? Of course, it's fucking Thursday, man. Of course, we got ice cream.
Exactly. What kind of ice cream?
I got vanilla ice cream with peanut butter chunks in it and chocolate. It's called Peanut Butter Pandemonium. Shout out to Stewart's. Stewart's in upstate New York has pretty good ice cream, and it's down the road. And
Stewart's does have pretty good ice cream.
They
it's
do.
pretty good ice
They
cream.
do.
And
Mhm.
Jamie's in 7th grade, so she has like a real school schedule. She has like 2 tests
Whoa.
tomorrow, and she's prepping for her audition. So she was a little stressed out today when I picked her up.
What is she
Oh, no.
auditioning for?
She's auditioning for Alice in Wonderland Jr. That's the play this year. So she's going
And what
out for
role?
Alice. She's going out for Alice because she's a pimp.
Nice.
She should, yeah.
I don't know how this kid is mine. I was not confident
Because she's also your wife's. She's also your wife's daughter, and let's be honest, your wife is amazing and dramatic.
That's probably true.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a good analogy.
One of Jamie's favorite
right there.
things is playing pretend, and that's how we sold drama to her. And she really loved it last year, and I think she'll really like it this year. I just hope she takes it easy on the stress. That's all, because I know how much it affects me. Anyway, that's a lot of stuff. How was your week,
a lot of
Mark?
stuff.
Mark, why are you drunk?
Oh, I had a. I'm not drunk per se.
I'm not that drunk.
Not yet.
He's not that drunk.
I don't necessarily want to go into the details, but I'll just say I've been drinking since 3 today.
Holy.
This is a great plan.
All right.
It's a great plan.
Perfect.
Right before the podcast. And I'm still,
What
listen,
could
I'm
go
still
wrong?
on time for the podcast, unlike when I was doing the super secret mission and was like a half an hour late.
Never good.
I made us late this time because I had to fill up this giant stein of beer.
Yeah, still not as bad as when I was doing the
Oh
super
no,
secret
no,
mission.
that was really late.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I wouldn't get to my house until the time that we were supposed to like go on. And then it's like, oh wait, I gotta pee. Oh wait, I gotta get my drink.
Like,
oh wait,
we should be in the first topic by now. We're just starting the show.
Oh Jesus! The poor Bengals are playing the Ravens this week. Oh well.
Yeah, good luck to
They're gonna
anyone
lose
playing the
again.
Ravens right now.
I guess they're gonna lose again.
Big time for kickball this time of year as well. I have one set of kickball playoffs this weekend and another set of kickball playoffs next weekend.
Wow.
Both teams should have a first round bye. They are one is should be a number 2 seed, another should be a number 3 seed. It's an exciting time for kickball.
We need.
Cool. I saw the little short video.
Yeah, we need a playoff correspondent for kickball so that we can cover it.
I'm going to be playing. I can't exactly correspond the games that I'm playing.
I don't. These all sound like excuses, Mark.
You sound like an excuse.
John, you should totally start bracketing it. Put it up on the website for Mark's team.
I'm in, man.
I've actually been joking about this. I'm waiting for like our kickball league to be on like DraftKings. And there to be like odds and whatnot, because that's like the last thing that's left to be on there.
Mark, you have a platform. Let's make that shit happen.
I should totally do that.
That'd be amazing.
Pete, what's going on with you?
Not too much. I managed to, with a little bit of free time, got out running Monday and Thursday, or just today. So that was pretty nice. Enjoying the super warm weather. It wasn't as warm today, but it was still really nice. And yeah, just having a good time. Liam has been loving the outside too. He now is always just wanting to go outside all the time and gets super excited. He's like, yeah, like every time we walk outside. So he's crawling around in the leaves.
He is your son.
Yep. So that's been fun. Other than that, not too much going on right now. We're gearing up for some big birthdays though coming up. We got Steph is turning 29.
Melanie just turned 29 yesterday.
It's amazing. Yeah, just every year.
It's amazing how the sisters are the same age.
Yeah, just every year. So that's coming up, and Liam's first birthday is coming up just a couple weeks after that.
Ooh.
So yeah, we'll be busy getting ready for those festivities.
You doing like a little friends and family thing, Pete, or what are you guys doing?
Will there be a bouncy castle?
Yeah, it's just going to be at the house, I think, just kind of keeping it small, but
yeah,
especially like
first birthday is really for you more than it is for him.
All they want to know is if there's a bouncy castle, because I will be there.
And if we weren't doing like a bigger thing for Steph, maybe we'd have more time or space to do something for Liam. But I mean, right, he's not going to remember any of this.
That's true. What is more important, your wife's 40th birthday,
29th,
or your 29th birthday? Her 11th, 29th birthday,
yes,
or your son's first birthday.
Yeah, I mean, they're both pretty.
It's your son.
He can't answer that. He can't answer that, Mark.
My brain's going to explode.
Correct answer is it's your son.
All right, yeah.
Also, Stephanie, who's listening?
Yes. All right.
So, Pete,
Hey.
all you have to do, Pete, is just not end up in the emergency room. So on Noah's first birthday,
Oh, jeez.
I was setting
That's
up
asking a lot for Pete.
Yeah, he's already been twice. So
Well, I was setting up for his birthday.
Yeah.
And downstairs we have a 100-year-old house. We have this huge beam that runs down the middle of the basement. And I stood up quickly and slammed my head full force into it and ended up with a concussion in the emergency room.
Oh, no.
On his first birthday. So
Damn.
don't do that.
You had a tough time the first
Jeez.
year, man. You were just like
Wow.
getting sent to the hospital, falling down the stairs.
It's been a rough couple of years. Yeah.
Kids are tough.
Kids will do that to you, man. It's rough in the body.
Yeah.
All right. So, hey, guys, do you know what my favorite brand of breath mints is?
No.
It's Icebreakers. That's right. It's time for warm up your balls. What a segue, right?
Huh. That was pretty good. I thought you were doing a sponsorship, and I was like, wait, we got Icebreakers to sponsor this. Oh, I see what you're doing.
I was about to be very impressed.
That would be pretty cool, but they're not. But they could be.
They could be, as
Go ahead,
always.
Pete.
Okay, we're going to warm up all of our balls collectively by spinning this wheel of questions. Wait, let me make sure that
Have you seen the
I
new
can
segment?
turn it? Wait, hold on.
Heard the new segment.
Let me make
I have
sure
not seen the new segment.
that we're refreshed to the latest wheel. Okay, here we go.
are.
You
Ready?
should be.
I updated
You
it
should be.
yesterday.
Spinning the wheel. I want to make sure
Are
my
you showing
browser
it
was.
somewhere?
It's on the YouTube broadcast.
Okay, Jefim, what's the most exciting sports moment you've witnessed?
Witnessed? Ooh.
Witnessed.
And does it have anything to do with Pedro?
I was thinking that, yeah, there's a couple. So
Okay,
the first one
I have a clarification question. Is this witness live or witness live in person or witness live on television?
I don't know.
The answers are different.
How do
I'm
we
gonna go
interpret
with
this?
witness in person.
Yeah, I think that's more
Okay,
interesting.
But I will say live is okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the one that came to mind was Pedro's 200th win.
200th victory.
Yeah, with John and Mark at
Exactly.
Shea Stadium.
Yes.
So
That's a big
That was
milestone.
definitely the first one that
pretty
popped
great.
into my head.
That was a pretty
That
good
was-
game.
That was a good game. And yes, this was when Pedro Martinez played for the Mets. It did happen,
And wasn't so fat.
and wasn't so fat. Yeah.
He got real fat.
The other one though was
He's
kind
not
of
playing baseball anymore.
yeah. He's just enjoying himself now.
As he should.
The other one that came to mind though was, I was at the Mets Phillies game in Citi Field the night, and literally the game was going on. We were at the game, and they came on the loudspeaker and announced that Osama bin Laden had been caught and killed.
Oh.
And the
Ooh.
whole stadium, it came over the loudspeaker. The game stopped. It was kind of crazy.
Wow.
So I know that's not quite a sports moment, but it was like at that game, it was like, whoa, this is crazy.
That's pretty
They had
important in
moment.
human history.
Yeah, that's
no,
a
it
pretty
was-
significant time or moment right there. Yeah.
So, and it was like, whoa. And I was there with my brother, and we were sitting next to a Phillies fan, and like, it was funny because the Phillies and the Mets generally hate each other, but like,
Generally.
it was like, everybody was just like high-fiving and just like, like, wow, finally after 10 years, we got this guy. So
Yeah.
don't mean to start a political conversation, just like that. I just remember that moment and where I was, and I had good seats to us sitting just behind the Mets dugout. So
Nice.
that was pretty awesome.
Jeff, I'm just to inform you, Dane was wondering if you had a number 9 and called you J-Dog. I don't think he's ever called you J-Dog.
I've never heard you. Yeah,
Dane's
I've never heard
drunk.
that before.
Dane is definitely drunk. And yes, I am drinking a number 9. Not a sponsor.
His name is J-Dog for forever now. Hey, J-Dog.
J-Dog.
By the way, Dane, if you're listening, I actually almost called you because someone needed a ride to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and someone jokingly suggested, "Look, why don't you? It'll probably be easier to fly there." It's like, I know a pilot that could probably fly you there,
I know a guy.
and he was willing to pay about $1,000 to do it. But I
Oh,
figured,
Shit. Hook Dane up.
well, I could have. I almost thought about calling you, but then I was like, Dane's a father and a
It's like
husband.
there's an over/under on that. Rent the plane for $200, fly it for $1,000. I like that.
Dan,
$1,000 to
Dan,
get
comment if you would
practice
actually do
flying?
that, and if you would, then I'll punch myself in the head.
That shit's a business model, bro.
Damn.
All right. Exciting sports moments.
Yes.
Let's get it.
I honestly
Oh,
can't think of any live that were like huge. I mean, I definitely have my personal favorite, but nothing that was like a significant moment in sports like that.
I've
Well,
had
then,
a good amount of live live sporting events. Also, speaking of Pedro, I saw Pedro strike out 17 Tampa Bay Rays, only to lose in a 1-0 game. I also saw Roger Clemens strike out 18 Red Sox players.
Wow.
Damn.
While he was on Toronto. And Dane says if the FAA is listening, I wouldn't do that.
I guess I could say, and by witness, I had to witness this on the radio because an NFL playoff game, this shows you the dating, was blacked out of TV. So we couldn't watch it. But it was the greatest comeback of all time, the Bills and Houston Oilers 1992 seasonal divisional round. Or no, wild card round. Bills were down 35-3 or something like that.
35-3, yeah.
Like a ways into the third quarter. Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas both injured out of the game. So backup quarterback Frank Reich just went on a tear. Andre Reed had 3 touchdown catches, and we're listening to the radio. The first touchdown was like, whatever, they're never going to win it. The second one was like, I don't know. That was pretty quick. The third touchdown, we're like, fuck yeah, let's go. And they did it. It was awesome. And then we were all running over to our neighbor's house who had this, remember the giant honkin' 80s satellite dishes? He somehow figured out how to get the game on that. So we all ran over there to see the end of it. That was a cool moment, though.
You were also, this wasn't live, but you and I were in the same apartment at the time.
Oh, yes. That was a memorable moment.
When the Red Sox won the World Series, I decided I was just going to tackle Pete.
It was either won the World Series or when they clinched to get into the World Series. I forget what it was, but either way.
Pretty sure it's when they won.
All right.
Either way, I got tackled by Mark, and I was not expecting it.
We know we're going to talk about this a lot, so I'm going to talk about a very recent moment. So I watched the Yankees clinch the World Series.
Of course he's going to want to talk about the Yankees.
Of course I did. But it was real late.
Is this the greatest moment you've ever witnessed in all sports?
I mean, it was pretty good.
I guess it's been a long time coming.
I'll definitely get into it, but perhaps after the greatest at-bat I might have ever received, at least the greatest at-bat I remembered.
Okay.
Is this about Aaron fucking Boone?
No, this is about Juan fucking Soto.
Oh, this is very recent.
Bomb in the top of the 11th inning. After fouling off like 100 pitches, and I literally sitting in this chair watching the game, I literally got up when the ball was in the air, like every video that you've seen about it this week. And I literally fucking yelled at like 12:10, and Melanie comes out. She's like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I'm
cool.
like, the Yankees just they just probably won the ALCS. What shit?
Wow.
And then I cried.
Damn.
I cried about it like 4 times that night.
So Dane mentions watching the Bruins raise the banner after they won the Cup in 2011, the first game of the next season, which I can relate to because that's what I did on Tuesday when I watched the Celtics raise the banner for number 18, which we might get into a little later.
So wait, if you guys are throwing in TV though, there's a lot of other moments.
A lot of moments.
No. Dane was there.
Well, I just had to.
Oh, maybe he was there. I don't know. I'm assuming he was there. But I was also there on Tuesday.
Nice.
Spent way too much money on that ticket, but it was worth it.
Nice.
Next question.
All right.
Next question.
We spent 7 minutes on that.
But that was a good question.
It was a good question.
It was worth it.
That was a good question.
What's your oh no, this is going to be another 7-minute question. What's your favorite type of music or artist?
Yeah. I put that down. ChatGPT suggested that, and I was like, wait a minute. This is the Jefim episode? This might take a while.
And of course it gets picked.
I'll try and I am definitely into rock and roll. It's a genre. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
What is this rock and that roll? It must be a very smooth round rock.
Wait, Jefim, have you heard of the late great Chris Cornell?
I have. Unfortunately, gone too soon. But
Gone too soon.
So definitely, I would just say the genre of rock. I love pretty much all of it. Whether it's like bluegrass rock, indie rock. There's very little rock I do not like at this point in my life. Favorite artist. I mean, Chris Cornell was my idol. I mean, I liked when he unfortunately committed suicide. That was a rough day. And if I had to pick one today, I don't know. Like right now, like current day, it's Head in the Heart. They're kind of like a folk rock band. I love the Head in the Heart.
I
I've
gotta
seen
check
them
them
like
out.
5 times.
Sounds really familiar.
Awesome. Arcade Fire is really good. There's a bunch of, I can name a bunch of bands, but probably Head in the Heart at the moment is my favorite.
Very cool.
I mean, I'm also up there with rock, and Jefim, you'll agree with this. Probably the best concert I've ever seen live was live.
Oh,
Up at Northern Lights in
Upstate
Clifton Park.
Upstate Concert Hall in
Live's
Northern
amazing.
Lights.
We
That
were
was
all
so
at that
cool.
concert.
Yep.
Yeah, that was, I mean, live.
And it
is
started a
amazing
little
live.
bit kind of cold, but then when he like, I don't know, it just, as the show went on, it just got like more and more awesome. And then you could tell the band was starting to feel it. And then that's like the shades came off. Ed Kowalczyk never takes the shades off.
Yeah, exactly. We were so close so we could touch Ed Kowalczyk.
Yeah.
It was an awesome show.
And didn't he look up and he's like, the ceiling's sweating. Like, this is awesome.
The ceiling was sweating.
It was very hot.
That
And
was-
didn't he take his shirt off at one point?
I
and
think so.
Somebody ended
Oh,
up with it?
absolutely.
They ended that concert with the song White Discussion, which I've never thought was like a banger of theirs, but oh my God, that was freaking amazing. That was the best song of the night.
Dane, were you at that concert?
I don't think Dane was.
He might have.
I thought he might have been there,
If
actually.
he wasn't at the
Was
concert?
he?
He might have been.
All right.
I mean, Northern Lights was a great venue.
One more.
Is it-
Yeah.
I
One
love
more before we
Northern
have to
Lights.
move on, Peter.
Okay.
I love Northern Lights. Such a
Yes.
small,
My ball-
intimate setting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My balls are just like a little lukewarm right
Okay,
now.
let's heat him up all the way. What's the most unusual sport you've heard of or watched?
Most unusual sport.
Unusual. Hey, I just say what the wheel tells me to say.
Most, I guess bass fishing is probably the one.
That could be up there.
I grew up in around the city here in White Plains, New York, just outside of New York City. But I was born in the middle of nowhere, upstate New York, and I had cousins and family up there. And I do remember being subjected to like a bass fishing, like whatever sport off, and I was just like, "What the hell am I watching right now?" Like,
How long does that take? Like, how do you score that? Is just like number of fish, how weights?
no,
like,
it's size of fish. Yeah.
so like, but
Don't
what if,
stop
what if
ringing.
somebody catches 10
We're at
fish that are
time.
10 pounds and one person catches one fish that's 100 pounds? Like, who wins that? The one fish that's 100 pounds?
I mean, if we're gonna get into the dynamics of pro bass,
Yes,
fishing, I
we
mean,
need
it's
to
like,
know. We need to
there
know
are
the
different- it's like-
intricacies of the sport.
I know there's a few different, like there's one of just pure size, like what you catch, and there's a whole science behind it of like lures you use and everything else, and tension on the string and how much you move it, and then there's like you said, there's number of fish in a set time period that you can catch. I mean, there's a few different ways they do it, but the one I'm most familiar with is physical size. They'll say you have to catch this type of fish, and whoever catches the biggest one basically is the winner. And that said, it is incredibly boring. It's like watching. I'm really sorry.
It's like watching fishing. Oh wait.
Jefim, I have a question, and this is I went to a lot of casinos and a lot of racetracks growing up because I'm Italian. So
It's
the
on
weirdest
brand.
sport that I've ever seen live is highlight. Have you guys ever seen highlight live?
I've never seen Highlight live. I've seen video of Highlight, but it
Highlight
looks
is
like
It's really weird.
it's ridiculous. They
Yeah.
carry like a paddle, but it's curved, and it's like the ball goes in it, and you can throw it
You can- so fast.
So it's like a little bit of racquetball, but like combined with like a Filipino murder sport.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the
feel like-
injuries from Highlight are crazy. If you ever
Crazy,
read about them. Yeah,
crazy.
it's insane.
I'm gonna look up highlight ball speed, but yes. I remember there being a highlight court in Yonkers Raceway, but maybe I'm thinking of another race.
No, you're right. No, there still is. It's still there.
There's
Oh,
it's
wow.
still there.
It's still there.
Oh my
yeah.
god, my old memory is still good.
There you go.
Yeah. And fun fact, my grandfather was the master electrician for Yonkers Raceway.
course he
for
was.
almost 50 years.
Amazing.
All right.
So-
So I looked it up. An average highlight ball travels 150 miles an hour.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
and it's almost like a lacrosse ball, right? I think
Yeah,
it might be a
it's
little
so hard.
smaller.
Wow.
It's hard, but it's like tiny too.
Right.
So Jeffem and I played lacrosse
Sounds dangerous.
in high school. Jeffem played more than me. I played just a little compared to him. A lacrosse ball is incredibly hard, and it fucking hurts when
It
it hits
hurts.
you.
Oh my God.
I
But you
believe it.
don't have like you can go back a little bit with your lacrosse stick, but the actual highlight whatever it's called. I mean, you could like spin around and do
That's crazy.
like
Oh,
ninja
geez.
flips and whatnot.
Ninja
And
flips.
it's also on a racquetball court.
It's almost a racquetball court.
So it's just
yeah,
ricocheting
tiny
everywhere.
court. Yeah, it's like, oh my god, that sport is insane. I don't even know how people play it.
That
It's
is crazy.
All right, I wouldn't say this is necessarily a strange sport, but this was maybe the strangest sports moment I've ever had.
Okay.
So the Tennis Hall of Fame is nearby where I live, down in Newport, Rhode Island. So it got all these grand grass tennis courts too, which is nice. I actually saw some tennis there this past summer. But we did not go there for tennis. We went there for sumo wrestling.
Wait, what?
This is
That must have been
joke.
amazing.
Okay.
This is no joke. Like,
That's cool.
And we watched a bunch of sumo wrestling matches in the middle of a tennis court. And I do remember
That's
I do remember
fantastic.
there was this giant dude that like he should have dominated everyone, but he just didn't. Because everyone else had a better technique, but yeah, that's one of my favorite childhood memories. I think I was like 9 at the time or something like that.
You're
But I
not expecting to see
specifically
that
remember. Yeah, I specifically remember going to the Tennis Hall of Fame to watch sumo wrestling.
That is pretty peculiar.
That's an
I don't know.
insane
I don't know
story.
if I can call that weird. I would totally go see sumo wrestling. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's not a weird sport
Well, it's
necessarily, but
unusual
just like
around
you're at the
here.
Tennis Hall of Fame, not to
That's
watch
true.
tennis.
That's true.
No.
to watch sumo
Yeah,
wrestling.
that. I love it.
I don't even know if my parents remember that. All right, are we good?
Think
mean,
so.
we're like 5 minutes over time.
Yeah.
All right.
Super good.
All right.
And now it's time for go ahead, Pete.
Mighty Morphin Power Rankings.
Oh, I
Okay.
forgot to do the reel.
Oh no. Well,
We got
I just
power
realized
rankings this
that.
week.
I
We
just
got power
realized
rankings
that.
all
this
right.
week,
Well,
everybody.
if you have not visited the website, which you can find these rankings on iftheseballs.com/NFL Power Rankings, or just click the link. Click the link on the website. And if you have not been following, we're on to week 8. Well, as there's a game going on right now, but these rankings
We're
were
almost
made.
halfway through the season.
I know, and you know what? It has no bearing in the power rankings because they're tied. So there. Yeah, it is flying by, you guys, and we're starting to see fewer big moves. So it's going to be when there is a big move,
But I mean, the
it should be a
cream
big deal.
is somewhat rising, and
It
like
is.
the things like Jaden Daniels getting hurt, showing directly into the Washington Commanders.
Yep. So the top is settling, right? It's getting jam packed. It's getting harder to really budge and move around in this top 8. So we'll go through that. Kansas City, sorry, until they lose. But the Ravens,
said that.
the Ravens look dangerous, and they've just been hanging out in 2 now for 2 weeks in a row. They are scary good. The Lions, very impressive week, put them into 3. Vikings, well, the Lions beat them, so I dropped them down to 4, but they're still looking pretty strong. I mean, go Sam Darnold, good for you.
Did Justin Jefferson just catch that fucking ball?
Yes, he did, one-handed.
He
That was
did.
incredible.
The Texans.
He is a man.
Texans have shown a little bit of a chink in the armor. Green Bay took them out. So again, I'm pushing Houston down in Green Bay. I'm hot on Green Bay right now. They're looking
Green Bay incredibly good
because they're getting
totally the
they're
real
getting
deal.
fully healthy. They're rising up at I think at a good time.
Houston's
Well, and-
offensive line has been suspect, so
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
just kind of exposed that.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
and
not
also,
they're not as invincible as I expected them to be.
Well, their number one weapon and the most
That's true.
chemistry-based connection for CJ Stroud has been injured.
They're
Yeah.
missing Nico Collins.
Yep, when he comes back and when Stephon Diggs stops trying to fight the guy in Green Bay, then they'll be better again. That was
Stephon Diggs,
ridiculous.
Totally not the problem.
Yep. Commanders hanging out at 7, and Pittsburgh woke up their offense. So they immediately go up because their defense is ridiculous.
I still think that's a little too high, but
And the Bills will stay at 9 or 10-ish until they can beat a real team.
This
Okay.
is making you so spicy. I love it.
All right.
I think your Pittsburgh ranking is spot on. I just want to call it out. I will
don't
never
think it's
ever bet
spot
against
on.
Mike Tomlin. Tomlin is an amazing coach.
amazing coach.
I've held
Are
Pittsburgh
they the 8th
down.
best team in the league? I don't think so.
I mean, I've held them to like 9 or 10 or 11 in that range, but actually, Russell Wilson looked like old school Russell Wilson in that game. I'm like, okay, they get a bump for this week. We'll see if they can hold on. Okay, now rounding at the bottom. This hasn't moved a whole lot either, but Jaguars went up there. looked impressive. Brian Thomas Jr. is looking like a legit number one wide receiver. Very solid. Unfortunately, I can't say the same thing for Malik Neighbors and the Giants. Well,
I mean, he hasn't really showed up. He hasn't been back.
Not since
Daniel
he got
Jones,
hurt.
by
Yeah.
the way, Daniel Jones finally got benched. Praise Jesus. I saw a reel today.
You were
Yeah.
praising him last week, and now we're like, it's about time he got benched.
Hey, you know what? They're passionate
Such a
fans.
New York sports fan.
They're very passionate
You are
fans
such
over
a
there.
New York sports
Shut
fan.
your fucking mouth. I was not. He's Daniel Jones.
What do you mean? Oh no!
Go to the
Roll
tape.
back the tape. Roll the tape. Roll the tape.
Roll the tape.
He was like, Daniel Jones is awesome. That's exactly what you said.
All right.
Maybe a little higher pitched.
You're drunk.
It's
He's definitely drunk.
kind of, I guess, sad if you think about it in one way or not in another. I don't know. It depends on your thoughts on how much of an asshole Deshaun Watson is. But his Achilles exploded, and he was the worst quarterback in the NFL. So because Deshaun Watson was the worst quarterback in the NFL, and now he can't play. So they immediately have better potential because their defense is still very good. And they
You
have
that much faith in Jameis Winston?
more than I had in Deshaun Watson.
I mean,
Jameis Winston one year had simultaneously by far the highest number of touchdowns and interceptions
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this
I mean,
turns out.
I will say this:
Okay.
your bottom five, not to spoil the lead here, but your bottom five are all interchangeable. I think you could probably make an argument for all of them to be the worst team
Yep.
in the
Now-
NFL.
So
Mark,
the
I know you're really excited for Bailey Zapp to make his resurgence
Oh.
on the
Bailey Zapp.
Cleveland
No.
Browns.
Oh yes,
But
yeah, they signed Bailey Zappi
they
too.
signed Bailey Zapp
Yep.
for when it all falls to shit.
Of course.
So, Bailey Zapp had a win last year, man.
mean,
I don't know.
First of all, it's Zappy.
Zappi, yeah,
Well, that makes
Bailey
it much-
Zappi.
That makes it much better.
Yep.
It's a way cooler name now.
Yeah.
He's Zappy.
And the Raiders just spinning around without any direction. And the Titans, they only dropped because
poorly coached.
yeah, I think the Titans are just still hanging out at the bottom. I like Mason Rudolph, but man, they figured him out in the second half, and the Bills just shut him down. And Patriots still not last.
Well, and
They-
I've been
talk
so-
about-
They were gonna be last, and then Carolina got the
disappointed in their
shit kicked
defense.
out of them. So
Yeah, I've been so disappointed in their defense. Oh, and I mean, bad news for the Panthers. Andy Dalton gets hurt in a car accident, so they have to now turn to Bryce Young.
oh,
back
that
to Bryce Young.
sucks. No,
now
Dalton.
I gotta talk about the Titans and the Panthers. Talk about really shit in the bed with the draft 2 years ago, man.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like wasting all that capital and not being any better, being bad. They're
Yeah.
bad. They're both
Well,
bad.
it goes
teams.
even before that because they had AJ Brown at one point, and they're like, we're good. You can go away to the Eagles.
That's wild,
All right.
right?
So let's look at, before we run out of time here, let's look at three big moves. Broncos just looking more and more impressive. Keep winning. I'm going to keep moving you up.
Big Javante, baby.
They even leapfrogged the Bears, which I was iffy on. Honestly, you could swap those two. I feel like they're right in about the same place right now.
I love how the Bears went up and they didn't even play last week.
I mean, it's mainly because of the Falcons and Chargers losing and getting shoved down. That's kind of why they got bumped up.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins is not really that good.
Well, I
He's
enjoy
okay.
I enjoy the fact that you got the Jets and the Saints in free fall because they're
Oh my
they're
God,
both-
the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets. I was high on them last week for getting Devontae, and then I was very rudely reminded that there's still the
Mark
Jets.
my words, the Jets and the Patriots are playing each other this weekend. I actually think I'm not sure they're going to quite pull the upset the Patriots, but I think it's going to be a lot
Are
closer than
both
That would be
teams gonna
interesting.
lose? Has that ever happened?
I don't know. They might.
Is that
That's a tie,
possible?
John. That's a
Oh,
tie.
God.
Is that possible?
That's
And,
called a
uh,
tie.
It's a tie.
The last
It
move-
will be a tie. That's what's going to happen.
The final move is to watch out for. Tua is coming back this week. So the Dolphins immediately get a major bump because they severely missed their quarterback. Let's hope that his head stays okay. It's risky as hell coming back, and he's not wearing the hyper
He's not
foam
wearing
protective thing
he's
either.
not wearing that.
So we'll see.
Which he's a quarterback, so in all seriousness, I
Don't
don't
say it.
see the
Don't
need
say it.
for him. No, I don't. Because
Hmm.
He's had
in a lot of
100
respects,
concussions.
Yeah, he just needs to learn how to fucking slide.
or just be a pocket
Or just
QB.
wear the
And
fucking
not
Guardian
head
helmet.
first. And
Right.
not head
And-
first.
You're right.
And not be such a macho douchebag.
I know.
Oh,
He
it's
has
personal
so
reasons.
much
Fuck
talent
you.
on that team for skill positions. He doesn't need to do anything like that. You're right. So that's my
really
rankings.
I really dislike that comment a lot. And
Well,
I mean,
all
I'm
right,
not wishing him bad will, but like
the Guardian
fact that
helmet
he
weighs
has no
so
interest-
much more than the regular helmet. When you're used to a certain weight on your head, and then all of a sudden you have to deal with a different weight, it's different. It
I
just
guess-
feels different.
I guess as a
So
QB,
imagine
yeah,
this,
it might
John.
be.
You're used to maybe a 32-ounce bat, right? And then all of a sudden you say, no, I have to switch to a 36-ounce bat.
Do you know what
That's
I like?
essentially
I
what's
like
going
remembering
on.
my kids' names.
Yeah, I mean that's right. This is why a lot of people are saying like, "What are you doing?" But
I'm not saying that he's making the right choice and in the long run. However, based on all the facts that he has and whatnot, because no one really knows. This is what I heard: the Guardian helmet absorbs about 10% of the impact.
That's it.
So that's it. That's it.
Can we have a
That's
Guardian
it.
helmet on top of the Guardian helmet for 20%
So now what?
reduced impact?
He's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yes.
I don't know though, man. 10%. I mean, if you're going to keep playing, that seems at least it's better than
I mean, it could be the difference
Basically-
of one concussion too many. Maybe.
basically a bowl on your head.
Mark, the Guardian,
Yeah.
What
the
they're wearing
Guardian
now.
cap
Yeah.
weighs 7 ounces. Shut your mouth.
That's a lot.
That's-
I
that's
thought I
so-
heard it was more than that. Actually,
7
Okay.
ounces.
no, I heard it
7
weighed
more
more than that.
ounces.
But that's a difference.
Does that interfere with the microphone transmission? It probably doesn't.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Because it's a cap on the regular helmet.
Yeah.
It's literally just a.
Yeah, it's an extra. Yeah, I've seen they have like little straps, but
I get him not wearing the Guardian helmet, but personally, my
don't.
personal view, Tua shouldn't play anymore because I don't think he knows how to survive in the game.
yeah, you're right. If he played smarter, it'd be a different story. But let's hope that he can adjust because I like the guy. I just it's only so many times you can roll the dice here.
Tutu Atwell's just a little nugget of a man.
He is
You're a little nugget of a
man. All right,
Yeah,
so
I
that's
am.
my power
6 1 to
rankings. If
no
anyone, speak now or forever hold your week 8 rankings.
Come on, where's the plug for the website, Pete?
I already said it in the beginning, but okay, fine. If you want to view these
Do it again. I
rankings,
forgot.
if you want to peruse these rankings further, go to www.iftheseballscould.com. Iftheseballscouldtalkpod.com. That might be a difference. And search for
It
the
is a
NFL
difference.
Power Rankings link at the top.
Pete, I'm surprised you didn't put the Buccaneers lower with the loss of both their wide receivers.
I
they'll be
wanted to be a
back.
little bit
They'll be
hesitant
back.
with that because they still have some good weapons, and Mayfield's been playing very well. I know I struggled with that. I was very tempted to push them down to 16 there.
You saw
But-
Baker. He knew how bad it was.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, because now he's
Yeah.
an average quarterback again.
Jefim, that was the hardest thing to figure out
One
this week is
rank,
where the hell to
yeah.
put the Buccaneers after that.
No.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
We would like to thank one of this week's fake sponsors, the End Zone Eatery. Celebrate each victory at the End Zone Eatery. Whether it's a touchdown or a three-pointer, we've got the best wings and burgers to fuel your fan frenzy. The End Zone, where every meal is a win.
Pete, write a theme song now. Go.
That was actually
Every meal is a win.
Yeah.
that was actually really good, Mark.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start a bar.
I like
We
that.
should start a bar. It should be called Puzzles.
Hey,
Anyway.
wait. Be careful. This
All
is
right,
how this
everyone.
podcast started. When Mark was drinking too much and was like, we should start a podcast.
All right, everyone, shall we kick off this shindig?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna try a loud song, and hopefully, with me going back to the old laptop, this is gonna help.
Here
And
we go.
I got inspired by the write-in. Ready?
Okay.
Your love is for the first topic. First topic is what I need. Oh, shake it up for the first topic. The first topic is what I need.
Yeah.
That was much
Better, right?
Way better.
Yeah.
That was
Way
Sound
better.
quality and singing and well, singing is always good, but we can't hear it when it gets clipped. But
I
that time
know,
it didn't
I
get
know.
clipped.
One of these days, I will figure out the settings between one laptop and the other. Anyway, so as many of you know, I went to the Celtics game to watch them raise their 18th banner and coincidentally destroy John's Knicks. But outside of the Pesci
Only for the
household
first quarter. Hmm.
and the game,
No. Oh.
they won by
Finish.
30. Anyway,
Finish.
Outside of the Pesci household, there are other storylines, including LeBron playing with his son in the Los Angeles Lakers, and the hopeful rise of Western Conference up-and-comers Oklahoma City Thunder, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Memphis Grizzlies. So everyone, with stories such as the Celtics looking to repeat, everyone in the East trying to catch up to them, and Bronny and LeBron James playing with each other on the Lakers, what NBA storylines are we looking forward to most, or do you guys just want me to talk about the banner night?
I think it's really interesting that the main NBA commercial has Victor Wembanyama in it, even though the Spurs are still terrible. But it was actually a really funny joke. He's like, "You guys are going to be toast, French toast," and then he winks at the
Wait, what?
camera. And I really thought that was really kind of funny. But it's funny because
That's
he's
amazing.
He's an average player on a terrible team, so that's kind of.
I wouldn't say he's average. He definitely showed some things towards the end of the last year and in the Olympics, but he's on a bad team.
Yeah, do you think if he had better
terrible.
people around him, he would elevate his game quite a bit, or no? Is he
Easily.
not?
Like I said, I am very interested in the New York Knicks, but I think the Knicks are worse. I think that the game against the Celtics showed that Karl Anthony Towns isn't a center. He's a power forward who's 7 feet tall.
And they don't. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the game because I saw Karl Anthony Towns live playing against the Celtics, and yes, he did his normal cat thing. He was down in the perimeter a lot. When he was down on the low block, he decided he wanted to pass the ball, and there was very few times where he was like. I even yelled at him at one point because he would have like a 6'5" guard against him, and I was like, "You're bigger than him." It's like he should back up and do some post moves, and he's just more comfortable shooting threes.
So I think that there is going to be some growing pains. Jalen looked good. Mikal Bridges looked good. I think the team is.
Oh, Mikal Bridges did not look good. I'm sorry.
He's got a points.
He's got a brand new shot. It looks so awkward.
I didn't see it live.
So
I just looked at his points.
It's so stiff. Like he literally does not bend his elbow when he shoots. It's just like up in the air. It's just
that's like how I shoot at basketball. It's like the most
playing
awkward looking thing
shooting
ever.
guard was weird. But I think that the Knicks are going to be good. They're so good on paper. I think they're going to be good.
Yeah,
and that's the story that I'm looking forward to.
I'll say this. So the Knicks, I think, at one point tried to get Cat a little bit more involved, and then they just forgot. and then at another point, Jalen Brunson was like, "I'm going to try and take over this game," and so that the Celtics kind of realized that, and so they would swarm the entire defense in on him, and he's like, I don't know what to do.
And what I was saying about the game is, obviously, you guys kicked the shit out of them in the first quarter. They won the first quarter by 20 points, right? But then there was a tie in the second. And the Knicks won the fourth, and we only lost the third by 7. So
you know why they won the fourth? You know why they won the fourth quarter? Because it was garbage time in the fourth quarter. So they had like the last man, the 12th man on the team playing there. At that moment, the Celtics had tied the NBA record for most threes in a game.
I saw
so
that
essentially, the bench, all they tried to do for the last about 9 minutes of the game was to break the record, and they failed horribly.
Oh,
that is so
it's a missed opportunity
all they probably do was run the offense, and then they naturally would get another a really good three. But no, they would just try to hoist it up for I think I'll shoot the ball because I have kind of a look at the shot. But no, they just kept missing. Like they at one point, I believe the Celtics were when they got their 29th, it was like 29-44, which is over 60%.
Yeah,
which that's just an amazing 2-point percentage. Never mind a 3-point percentage. And then I think they missed the next 14 shots.
I mean, at the end of the day, your team is ridiculous, and you're gonna win the East because your team is ridiculous.
Listen, it's gonna come down to health though, like it does for most sports.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone's great at the first game of the season, and then when someone gets hurt.
Everybody wins the off season.
I think it'll be fun to watch Luka. I mean, all the greats are still great, right?
Yeah.
I want to see the LeBrons play together. I think that's kind of cool. It's a generation difference.
Listen, that's such a marketing ploy.
That's so cool though.
But LeBron James is old, and Bronny James is mid. He's just mid. Honestly,
he is not an NBA player without LeBron James being on the team because he would not have been drafted had it not been for LeBron.
Until the final game that LeBron is like, okay, I'm ready to retire. Son, come here. And you have the fingers and the LeBron talent and body just like more for like channel into his son, and then his son continues to like, yes,
I was about to say,
hush.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way. Pete.
No.
So when I originally wrote this topic, I was going to have it more focused on Bronny and LeBron James about some like father-son combinations. So that made me think of, the Griffeys, Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. playing on the Mariners. It also made me think of Gordie Howe playing with his two sons in Hartford.
It's pretty cool.
Like there have been some pretty cool father-son moments.
They
in
did
sports.
They did a pretty funny commercial I saw this week.
What's that?
About Bronny and LeBron. LeBron was doing rookie hazing on Bronny, and he put Rice Krispies in his his Lamborghini or something.
Oh no!
All came out.
Huh.
You lost me at Rice Krispies is Lambert fucking Guinea.
Lambert fucking Guinea.
Yeah.
Oh no! I've cereal in my $500,000 amazing car.
Whatever.
I'll have to.
I am hesitant that the Celtics are going to repeat, but that's just me. I will say this: I was impressed with how hungry that they looked the first game of the NBA season after winning or after raising the banner and getting their ginormous championship rings.
I don't know. The fact of it is that it was the banner game at home. I didn't expect the Knicks to win.
It could have been a letdown for the Celtics though, because you get all hyped up and amped up for that pregame ceremony, and then it just I don't know. But they didn't. They didn't. Jason Tatum himself was amazing from 3-pointers. Like the Knicks, I don't know what they were thinking. They did not contest a lot of 3-point shots.
I mean, you guys are the Dodgers of basketball. Like, really, what's your?
You're not wrong.
What's your roster value right now?
You are not wrong. that is a true fact.
I mean, you guys are going to be good.
That's why Wick wants to sell the team.
You got like a $500 million roster.
Oh, so much money. So much money.
So I'm not expecting them to be bad. Porzingis wasn't even there and you won by 40. Jesus fucking Christ.
I know.
I didn't need that asshole.
It's a good way to end it.
Used to be a Nick. Used to be a Nick.
The unicorn, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, they called him the unicorn. He was the beginning too. He was the reason that the loss of Porzingis is the path that got us Jalen Brunson. True story. Jalen Brunson.
Oh my God, I thought about that so many times during the game, especially when he was trying to take over the game. It was like, if John were here, you go, Jalen Brunson. But I was with a bunch of Celtics fans.
Love me some Jalen Brunson.
And no one would have gotten that reference.
I do miss the neighborhood around the Garden. I don't know. I'm thinking about like the energy around Boston and like you guys are a good sports town. Like
Jefim, it's so different now. The Garden is so different. They developed a shit ton around the Garden now. It does not look the same.
TD Garden kicks ass. That's a great arena.
Yeah.
Well, what did they change? You mean the whole West End?
They just developed all around the Garden. Like you can't even see the Garden when you walk up to it because it's just there's a bunch of like shops and restaurants now.
So there's not the $1. Is the $1 pizza place still there?
Oh, no, the $1 pizza is still across the street.
Okay, good.
I mean, that can never
seriously,
change,
like they have like a food court, like on like the first on the ground level, and then we ended up pre-gaming at a place called Banners, which is just a ginormous sports bar.
Can I ask you guys why you're eating $1 New England pizza?
It actually wasn't. Well,
because why not?
Don't say it.
Pretty sure we had $1 pizza back in college at iHeart. It hit the spot at the time.
When you were drunk.
Wait, it was I Love versus Geno's. Remember that? They got like pretty heated there.
No, what was the place where if we picked it up, we would get $5 pizzas and
Pizza Bella.
Pizza Bella.
We used to come with a stack of them like as big as me. I'd be like, I can't move.
It wasn't
green peppers.
It wasn't great, but oh my God, was it cheap?
It was cheap. All right, we got to move on. It's a Jefim episode, and it's not.
This is a Jefim
well.
episode. We've gone 50 minutes, and we've gone one topic.
It is exactly on.
I didn't even weigh in on that topic. That was not my fault.
It is exactly on point.
We're gonna get to it right now, but somebody give me a next topic.
I don't know.
All right, I got one.
All right.
Wait. I can't remember that song now. Can't read my. Wait. Can't read my. No, you can't read my next topic.
Nice.
He's
Jefim,
got it like nobody.
Jefim, I'm going to ask you, do you want your baseball topic or my baseball topic first?
I'm
It's
not.
your show.
And,
It's
and
your
before you
show.
answer that, I'm
It's your
not doing
show.
any baseball topics because
I know
Sean
Mark
had-
didn't have a single
Dealer's
Mark didn't have a
choice.
Oh,
No,
All right,
no.
well-
It's your show, man. It's your show. You guys.
Well, then
you
we're going to
pick.
do your baseball topic. So, of course, we're clearly going to start with the Cinderella season of the amazing New York Mets. So, after an 0-5 start and only 55-48 record at the All-Star break, the NLCS felt pretty far off. The Mets, magically, through the power of Grimace and the Hawkua girl, ended with an 89-73 record, clinching the playoffs with a win over division rival Atlanta Braves, and then getting through 2 rounds of playoffs, which included a win over the heavily favorite other division rival, arch nemesis Philadelphia Phillies. And after that, it felt pretty magical. So, with word of Pistol Pete Alonso looking for a contract in the range of $200 million, do you think the Mets will pay him? Also, can you encapsulate the magic of the season? Was it the confidence of Francisco Lindor, the magic of Grimace, or something else?
Oh man. So I was on the show. I think you guys remember. I think it was right at the beginning of the baseball season, and
Yep.
I truly thought. I mean, looking at my team, I was like, "There's no question." I was
All
like,
three of us were like, "No, we're all the
like,
worst team in baseball."
What happened
Mark,
to the
you were
Mets?
right.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark was right. Yeah. But in terms of the Mets, I think the second half story, I would love to. I mean, Grimace is awesome. Like, if anybody hasn't seen that Subway video of the
Oh my
Mets
God,
all,
that's
Yeah,
Subway
yeah.
video was
Why
Oh, yeah.
why
I
don't you
need to see
divulge a
this.
little bit? Yeah, divulge a little bit about the story behind Grimace, please.
Okay. So truthfully, I'm going to show myself as a bad Mets fan here. I don't actually know the story.
I
behind
know the
Grimace.
story. I looked it up.
Go for it, John.
Go ahead,
So-
John.
I actually don't know.
In the doldrums, when the Mets were trying to drum up energy, they got a sponsorship deal from McDonald's, right? And so Grimace, with a big mitt, came out and threw out the first pitch. And since then, there is legend and rumor that says since then, that was the moment that the Mets turned around. When the Dodgers came to New York City for the NLCS, there was a billboard in Times Square that said it wasn't fate, it wasn't magic, it was Grimace. And it was just Grimace
That was
standing
awesome.
on
So that part of it I did. see.
standing on the mound. The 7 train. So for anybody who's not from New York City, the 7 train in Queens, they decorated with Grimace. Had Grimace shit all over it.
Oh my
And
god.
for many moments towards the end of the season, Grimace would just show up on the train. So there is a viral YouTube video, a viral video on like TikTok and YouTube where Grimace is just walks into the train, and the Mets fans are going to the game, and they all just freak the fuck out, and everybody's singing and dancing with Grimace.
That's so
it's
cool.
really kind of incredible when you think about it. And
It was.
I love, and I heard this from a sports announcer, that once you're done being sad about them not being in the playoffs anymore, you have to admit that the season was magical. It just felt magical.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys
No.
kept winning. You kept winning when you had no business winning. And you had guys like Lindor who just lived on his own, like his braided hair and his own confidence. That guy's a badass, right?
But the real story, like, all right, so I am definitely like an analysis baseball fan, I'll say.
Hmm?
Mark, you said this to me once years ago. If you look at what actually drove the Mets into this, it was they had 3 pitchers that pitched pretty much the best career they had in the second half. It was Severino, Quintana,
You're welcome.
and Minaya. If you look at their stats, like truly from the first half to the second half, the Mets had, I believe, Quintana and Minaya were 2 of the best pitchers in baseball in the second half.
Mhm.
So it always comes back to pitching. I understand, like people. I watched the games, watching them, like watch those playoffs. It was just like, whew, like they had no business beating Philly. They had no business in the wild card. Like,
But it felt real good, didn't it?
but it felt great. You're absolutely right. It was a great story. I enjoyed
Mm.
every minute of it. But the story is, and unfortunately, this is also what brought it to an end, is pitching, because they hit the Dodgers and the pitching was out of gas, completely out of gas. Minaya admitted it. He was 80 innings over his previous high, and he truly, like, you watched him in that game, he was out of gas.
Oh man.
Quintana finally came back down to earth, and Severino, unfortunately, just ran same deal. Like he was way past his previous innings limit and just ran out of gas. So it's that part kind of sucked. And there's only so many times you can out hit your opponent. That's bottom line.
Especially when your opponent is the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So basically, as soon as I saw the bullpen come in the third inning of that last game, after Minaya just got knocked around, I was like, this game's over. Now that said, I am so grateful. My team had fight, man. We were still fighting right to the last inning. We scored those runs.
Yeah.
Those are the best seasons when you don't expect them to be good and they just are. You feel like the team and the fans, it's just this magical energy, right? That you don't get from any other kind of season.
They were the true dark horse. Totally. I mean, when you think about it.
It sounds like really kind of wrong to say that a New York sports team was the underdog, but the Mets truly were the underdog in the playoffs. And listen, I'll admit a little bit. I was kind of rooting for them just because, I mean, I'm friends with Jefim.
I was rooting for them.
I didn't want to see the Yankees. That's for sure. But I'll cheer for the Mets.
Yeah, no, but that said, you're right. It was a magical season. Totally unexpected. Awesome to watch. Totally got me back into it after a couple of years there where I was just like, I can't keep watching this team. So that was great. But yeah, unfortunately, man.
So close.
So does Uncle Steve pay Pistol Pete?
So there's two sides to me on this. I absolutely love Pete Alonso and want to see him have his whole career on the Mets. If I'm putting my actual GM hat on and all of the advanced stats say that Pete is on his decline, and I do not think they should pay him.
How old is he?
He's 30, I think, or 31.
That's old for.
I didn't think he was that old. Yeah,
pretty sure. You can check it out, but he's not as young as he might. I take it back. He might have just turned 30. He might have 29, just turned 30, but still, he's. Again, if you look at his bat speed, it's slowed down. All his advanced stats. If you watched him up at the plate, he had some amazing
29.
moments. Honestly,
yeah, he turns 30 in December.
Yeah. That said,
but that's older than I thought he was.
If you look at his year he had though, as a whole, in the last couple of years, he had that amazing season. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago where he almost broke. All the home runs. I mean, he was amazing. He has been steadily downhill since then, and I suspect anybody who pays him that contract, you'll get maybe 1 or 2 good years out of him, and you're going to regret the rest of the contract. That's my feeling, because he's a power hitter. He does not hit for average. He does not get on base much otherwise. So
I agree. By the way, I mean, he's just going to fall off the planet one day.
Wow, I didn't realize this. That this was his 6th MLB season. It felt like his rookie year was very recent.
Yeah, no, he's been on the team for a while, man.
Yeah, rookie year was 2019 when he hit 53 home runs.
Yeah, I want to stress, I love him, and he is one of those guys that's super easy to root for. That's what I'm saying. I'm
professional.
As a
he
Mets
probably
fan,
wants to be a Met too, because I think he likes being on that team.
He does. Apparently, he said to his agent is Boris, so that's the other reason I'm like, oh shit. But apparently, he said to Boris he wants to make the Mets a priority. Apparently. Now, that said, taking this all back for a minute, Uncle Steve, he's got a lot of money. He doesn't mind paying a luxury tax.
So we're out of time, but what is the move for the Mets? Are they going to go full bore? They're going to sign Pete? They're going to sign the biggest free agent that you guys need? Are they going to re-sign Severino?
They also try to sign Soto.
John, you're not going to like this, but I'm pretty sure the Mets are going to try and sign Soto. I'm pretty sure.
$700 million fucking dollars. You can't have them both.
If I were the Mets, honestly, and this sucks for Pete, my number one is Soto. I go after Soto first.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying for the Mets.
Oh, for Pete Alonso.
If I'm the GM.
No.
I'm sorry. No. I feel sorry for. No. I feel sorry for Pete Alonso, but if I'm the Mets, you should go after Soto.
Oh, I mean, that's going to be a bidding war and multiple teams. And I mean, Soto's not dumb. Soto is the best youngest player in baseball. I mean, he is going to get a boat after that performance in the playoffs. He's going to get all of the money. Literally, Josh Chisholm said. Josh Chisholm said, "Give my guy $700 million." I mean, and he's right. He deserves that much. He's amazing. I saw him before he hit that home run, and I said it to myself. I'm like, no, he's locked in. He's locked in, and he's like, he knows he's going to hit the ball.
And he's 26, I think.
He's 26.
He's so young.
Oh, wow.
He's so young.
That's why I'm saying if I had my choice, I hate.
And he's a lefty.
Yeah, I would go sign. I would do everything I can to sign Juan Soto. That's the one I would go after.
You hear that, Uncle Steve? We know you're listening.
That said, they need pitching. I don't know where they're going to get it from, but they need it.
Yep. So does everybody. Anyway,
All right.
time.
I'm gonna
right.
try and do this next topic song, because I couldn't do it last week.
Okay.
Ready? Yeah. This next topic's fire.
You recovered, baby. Nice.
We lost some of the
bit?
but we got all the rest of it.
Enough.
John, you can edit that, right?
Not really.
I mean,
I haven't
actually,
heard
yeah,
those
you could
guys in,
just pull it
15
together.
Years.
All right. So you know what?
It's a good band.
This topic's probably a little bit more appropriate for next week, but we're still going to roll with it. I believe that that few would argue against this past WNBA season being a success. However, when you look at the financials, maybe not so much, as the New York Post reported that the NBA lost about $40 million a season in their WNBA investment. Also, due to the uptick in viewership and attendance this season, the WNBA Players Union decided to opt out of the collective bargaining agreement. So everyone, with the NBA losing about $40 million and the players opting out of the CBA, what does the future look like for the WNBA?
I mean, roaming WNBA reporter for If These Balls Could Talk, Melanie Campion, my sister, was at the parade today, and there was a jillion people there. Ellie the Elephant is probably the most popular person on the team. There was floats and confetti and the whole nine. I mean, it was a championship parade. Congratulations to New York Liberty winning the WNBA championship of 2024.
I mean, TV viewership was, for the most part, more than doubled.
Listen,
attendance more than doubled.
So what?
They just signed a new TV contract too. So
yeah. So why did they lose for it? Like, was it the money mismanaged or something, or what?
The NBA lost.
The NBA has
the
an
NBA
investment in the WNBA.
Right, but is that why they lost $40 million, or was it their own stuff?
Well, keep in mind that there's still a lot of costs associated with,
Sure.
It's probably not fair, but I think the to phrase it like this, I think the WNBA is still somewhat of a startup business because they just don't have the big following that the NBA has, the NFL has. However, this past season should be the start of huge growth for the league, not only economically but socially. Pretty much anything that you would want. This is the time to strike gold, which I can't blame the players for backing out of the CBA, because I think they're right. Like they should be getting more money, because more money is just going to keep coming in.
Yeah. Was it not very player friendly?
Yeah, I was about to ask, what is the current CBA?
It's not very player friendly. They don't make a lot of money.
It's not very player friendly. I mean, so. Well, how much did Caitlin Clark make this year? It was like $70,000 or $65,000.
Oh yeah, she's gonna make like a lot more than that. So like the face of the entire.
I mean, yeah,
league.
she makes more than that with all of her endorsements. So,
sure.
But that's not what we're counting. I mean, the top.
It's part of it, though.
It's part of it, but
it's not part of it, because it's not coming out of the
it's not part of it.
It's not coming out of the WNBA's pocket. It's not coming out of the NBA's pocket. We're talking about the bargaining agreement with their employers.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right,
I mean,
absolutely,
right. She should be getting compensated more from the actual
That has something to do with the
league, for
salary
sure.
cap, though, and the rookie deals.
The top players in the WNBA, the top 5 paid players, none of them make over $300,000.
No, isn't that sad?
None of them. Not
Meanwhile,
a single one.
What is the veterans minimum in the NBA? I'm pretty sure it's $1 million.
Probably more than that.
Pretty sure it's $1 million.
And sure, like everybody understands the way it works. It's a collective bargaining agreement that now have opted out of, but they get a portion of profits, right? I think that the women in charge of the WNBA Players Union are making decisions based on their, inequalities in sports and inequalities in pay. They exist everywhere. They don't get paid enough because, as you can see, the interest is there now. I mean, there was probably 50,000 people in New York City today. I mean, and the games are selling out. 1.8 million, 1.5 million. The games are selling out. The games between the Lynx and the Liberty were incredible. They're incredible basketball games. Yeah. So why didn't?
But there is the possibility.
Because nobody is investing in the organization.
But there is the possibility, and now think about this, that the WNBA players will go on strike next season. how harmful will that be to the league?
Very harmful. They should not go on strike.
Yeah.
Even if the owner's like, no, we're not budging.
No, this is a momentum.
That's a
People
tough
will
call.
just forget, and they're gonna have to start over.
So you think that the players should eat it if they don't come, if the owners decide we're not changing anything?
I don't think they should go on strike.
That's a tough call.
I mean, granted, I don't think that the owners should dig in their heels either, but at the end of the day, everything's a business, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the players deserve everything they, like they're the face of the league. It just sucks that it would have to come to that.
Every league that's struck barely survives. I mean, baseball took a while to come back, right? Like a while, honestly. Baseball's just back. Hockey, yeah,
hockey never. I would say hockey never really recovered. No, they'll lock out.
We have a hockey topic coming up, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Was that 94 when NHL locked out?
Your comparison to a startup is interesting because I was just looking up the WNBA franchise valuations and revenues. I mean, they don't really make a lot of money.
They don't.
Their valuations are crazy, but
it's almost amazing that they've lasted as long as they have when you think about it, because the WNBA has been around for almost 30 years now.
Yeah. I mean, the New York Liberty topped the revenue at 18 million, which, don't get me wrong, that sounds like a lot, but I mean,
be a lot for us.
Yeah, but if you compare it to the NBA team, I mean, the Knicks or it's probably minimum 10 times that. I'm sure it's more than that. This is an interesting move. I don't know. It's you just start to pick up your popularity as a league, and then you immediately decide to strike. I'm usually all for workers' rights, but this feels like bad timing to me.
Interesting.
This feels like the wrong.
Pete, what about you?
Feels like the wrong moment.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's they deserve the world. But you're right. If it's going to be at the expense of the league, it's I don't know. It might be like 1 year too soon for this.
I'm so surprised about that because I think I'm with the players on this. They think they need to stand their ground, and if they have to strike, then so be it. Now, I don't think it's going to be all that long of a strike.
Okay.
But you have, I think, because of that momentum, I think the players really have the big bargaining chip right now.
I mean, I will say this. If they decide to strike, my God, am I on their side? Like, to get everything you need, like, please let it turn out that way for the players. Because without the players, you have no league. So
they do have alternatives, right? I mean, Caitlin Clark has gotten the offers to be in Allen Iverson's like 3-versus-3 league, right?
Yeah.
And then they have, we talked about this before, the women themselves have their own kind of 3-on-3 league coming up.
Yep.
Sabrina Ionescu from the New York Liberty is starting a 3-on-3 league with her wife and investors, which is going to play this winter.
So
they're potentially going to get paid more than their WNBA contracts.
See, now that
maybe
there's some bargaining leverage right there.
Maybe
sure.
the look of it looks different. I mean, because it doesn't have to be the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, if it
I'm just reading. I mean, I didn't know this. So the current deal would expire. Basically, all they did is make it expire 1 year earlier.
Yeah, they opted out early. Yeah.
Okay.
My point being, like, I don't know. This feels like bad timing. I'll reiterate that. I think your league's just starting to pick up in popularity, and now you're going to potentially shoot it in the foot. And there is no scenario, if you ever look at the way people feel as a whole about athletes striking to make more money, almost always people feel negatively about it. I mean, look at all the past strikes. I don't think that's going to be different here. This feels, I understand
it's
why.
A damn shame, but
I'm
it's
not
probably
arguing
true.
that they should. I'm just more talking about timing. Like, you don't want to, cut off your nose to spite your face kind of thing.
That's a good point to end it on because we are over time.
Man, I'm interested to see how this plays out, though, for sure.
It's gonna
Time passes so fast. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we like each other a lot. We could talk all night, especially about interesting things.
This was an interesting. Yeah, this is a business one. This is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm. We'll probably talk a little bit more next week about some other things about the WNBA. But
sing me a song.
I thought
Okay.
because the women specifically opted out of the CBA, I was like, no, I don't want to talk about this now. All right.
Also, Cat's gonna kick your ass. So
it's time for the next topic. It's time for the next topic. I can't live without the next topic. I think I was a little off key.
It's okay.
It was okay. It was okay.
It was a song parodied into a next topic, so it wins.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So we can get Pete involved, we're going to do an NFL question. We are quickly approaching the halfway point to the NFL season.
I'm ready, Coach.
Going into week 8, there are a lot of surprises and some actual reasons for panic. From the failures of the New York Jets, Cincinnati Bengals, and Dallas Cowboys. Yup, Tim, you were right. To the collapse of the New Orleans Saints and their 40-point game offense after week 2. There are a lot of coaches that should be fearful for their jobs. So what is the biggest cause of panic in the NFL season so far? What teams in free fall will be able to turn themselves around in the second half?
Oof. Well, right away, the Bengals I've been higher on than most. I mean, there's just too much there. Burrow's too good. They're going to figure it out. And it seems like they're starting to right the ship already. So I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried about they have an amazing coach. I'm not worried about them at all. The Jets, I would say yes, but they already fired their coach, so I don't know what the hell's going on over there. And the Saints,
and that new head coach has the personality of a cardboard box.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a fucking figure.
It's the Aaron Rodgers. You're right. It's the Aaron Rodgers show now. So it's going to go down in flames, or it's going to turn around and be amazing. But probably more the former. The Saints, I don't know. Isn't their coaching staff and setup like relatively newer? They're just down Derek Carr, which sucks because they had a lot of momentum at first.
Down Derek Carr, down Chris Olave, even though Chris Olave theoretically is back.
Oh, and Shaheed's out too.
Down Rashid Shaheed.
So we were talking about the Bucks earlier, missing their WR1 and 2. Same story with the Saints and their quarterback.
Wait, how have you not talked about the Amari Cooper trade yet?
It just hasn't come up.
We're talking about it now. This is essentially also all the big moves of the trade deadline.
Well,
so
let's talk about the Cleveland Browns.
Okay, sure.
Cleveland Browns spending a lot of money, throwing it all away now because they realized they made a fucking stupid decision.
Oh, they are so stuck. The problem is though with the Browns is with their owner. Like the GM and coach are doing everything they can to put out
that is a true fact.
Dumpster fire that the owner just keeps throwing gasoline on. If I were to put an analogy there, like they're stuck. I mean, Watson's cap hit, whether he plays or not, is like 140 million this year or something ridiculous. It's like 80 million or 90 million next year. It's 70 million the year after. They're screwed until 2027. It's really bad.
And who did they give up a quarterback for Deshaun Watson? Who
Mayfield.
Oh, that's right.
Right, that really good quarterback who's doing very well. He was pretty good on Cleveland too.
To be fair, Mayfield would not be doing much better than Deshaun is. I think. I mean,
you don't think so?
But Joe Flacco leads that team to a playoff berth.
Yeah, Flacco off the couch.
I'd rather have Flacco than Baker Mayfield. And listen,
really.
Baker Mayfield right now is showing how good of a quarterback. Yes, he's showing.
Wow.
Listen, he's only good because he has Godwin and Evans. Look how he looks when he doesn't have those two guys.
I mean, they still played pretty well. Oh,
he
never mind.
Played pretty well.
I guess we'll see next week because they're both out next week.
He was panicking when he was running for his life for a few of those dropbacks.
Well, we'll see. So you want to talk about Cooper?
So
Pete, how do you feel about
where did Amari Cooper go?
Pete, are the Bills? I mean, the Bills are 5-2, but I mean, are the Bills going to be able to finish and do well in the AFC playoffs?
I mean, they're going to win their division because look who they're going up against. So that's not really a problem.
You're the only winning team in the AFC.
It's a bad division this year.
It's a bad division.
Never mind that.
Cooper definitely gives me a lot more hope. I was very down on the Bills' offensive potential at the beginning of the season.
Do you feel sad that you got Amari Cooper and the Chiefs went and got DeAndre Hopkins? Is that sad?
A little sad because I really wanted Hopkins on the Bills last year when they still had Diggs. That would have been fucking awesome, but it didn't happen.
I don't know. I like both of those moves for those teams, and I wouldn't have liked it so much if it was the other way around. Personally,
okay. You don't think so?
I think Amari Cooper's going to be. Yeah, I think he's going to be a good fit with Josh Allen and D-Hop. While he's good, he's on the decline, and
he is older. He's
really just a hands guy. And I think him being on the Chiefs route may not be as good either, because the Chiefs, they're a yak team, right?
Yeah.
They're throwing it short and then they want to run after the catch, which that's not D-Hop. D-Hop is you just throw the ball up and he'll catch it more often than not.
We'll see though. This might put a spark in Mahomes' game to kind of reignite some of that lost part of his QB, because Mahomes has not been very impressive this season, and it's because he just hasn't had the weapons or the scheme to.
They have a very good offensive line, and they have reasonable runners still, even with Pacheco going down. And they're just a running team because they can be. They can be whatever they want to be with that offensive line.
They are whatever they want. They need to be. They're whatever they need to be.
Well, and I mean, and on top of that, Mahomes is, one of the best pocket scramblers in the league. Like,
and I mean,
he turns nothing into something every fucking time, and it's so frustrating.
Right. I also think that but Mahomes' offensive numbers are down. Sorry, Jefim. Because he's just not throwing the ball because he has him on his fantasy football team. That's doing very well.
I have him on my dynasty team, and it's a very down year.
Did you see who I've switched to, John? Baker Mayfield, baby.
Oh, there's where the Baker Mayfield enthusiasm is coming from.
Doubled my points, man.
Nice.
But
that's awesome.
A funny story about Cooper in this game against the Titans,
where he didn't know the plays and Keon Coleman yelled at him.
Yep, yeah, he didn't know the plays. He looks over at Keon Coleman and he signals like, "Yo, what am I supposed to do?" And Keon's like, "Go that way," and he did, and he caught a touchdown pass.
And he scored a touchdown.
He scored a touchdown.
The reporters asked Keon Coleman, the most honest man in football, like, did he not know the plays? He's like, "Nah, we just communicating. He knows the plays," but he was lying.
Yeah, Keon was being.
The man was on the team
nice
for like 3 days. Of course, he doesn't know the plays.
Right. He crammed and he admitted, he's like, I only learned some of them. He's like, dude, I was like up all night with the wide receivers coach, like just cramming to learn as much as I could. But he was only out there for 19 snaps.
That was fucking funny.
And of those 19 snaps, he got targeted 5 times. His first pass was a drop. I was kind of like, oh, of course. But after that, 4 passes for 66 yards and a touchdown for 19 snaps in a game. That's not bad.
He's a very good player.
He looked good.
Yes.
So,
all right. So bottom line, Bengals are going to turn it around.
I think so.
Bills are going to win the division, and everybody else is bad. Okay, cool, super.
I don't know if the Dolphins. I'm curious to see what the Dolphins do now.
I think the Dolphins are going to bounce back, assuming Tua stays healthy.
Right.
Assuming Tua stays healthy.
Yeah, right. If he stays healthy, they can come back, and if the Bills lose a couple games here, which is very possible, Miami could come back into the mix.
When they murdered him for the second year in a row, he didn't look good before he got his bell rung.
Yeah, the Bills hit
him
good. Hard.
I don't think the Dolphins look good this year, and I don't know how. I don't know how they don't look good.
I know there's way too much talent on that offense,
and I don't know if Tyreek is distracted. I don't know if, Mostert looks terrible. Mostert looks bad.
Ep7 looks good though.
No, he can't do it alone. Ep7 has been the RB1.
Yeah, but he can't do it alone.
He was a rookie last year.
Yeah.
John, let's talk about the most important team that's going to rise now that Daniel Jones has been benched and Tommy DeVito is sitting there waiting.
We're one deviation away from Tommy DeVito.
Time with Drew Lock, motherfuckers.
Has he actually been named the starter for the next week?
I don't know. I don't. So
can we please just skip to DeVito?
They'll probably put Danny Dimes back up. I saw a very funny. I love Gridiron Heights on Barstool Sports. I saw a very funny one. All the backup quarterbacks, they're like an A team, and they're like pointing around. They're like, I know the right guy for the job, and like Tommy DeVito shows up. I literally just saw that on TikTok. He's like, hey, what's the matter, you?
Dude, everybody wants it. The Giants
everybody wants
just
it.
Give the fans what they want.
Give us what we want.
Save the fucking season, baby.
Yep.
Tommy Cutlets, baby.
That's right.
Anyway, let's do it.
All right. Believe it or not, this is the next topic. A little callback to the answering machine.
He's very good, Pete. He's so good at singing.
Is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'd like to thank another fake sponsor, Hat Trick Tacos. Score big with Hat Trick Tacos.
Whoa. 3
delicious tacos, 1 incredible experience. Hat Trick, the trifecta of flavor in every bite.
That was clever, right? Tacos often come in 3s.
What did we do without AI?
Seriously.
Yeah, we'd have to think on our own. Anyway, So the NHL decided to have a night where every team played and called it the Frozen Frenzy, which they've done for the past 3 seasons, I believe. So everyone, were we aware of the NHL's Frozen Frenzy? And should other leagues copy this strategy?
Nobody watches hockey. Pete.
Frozen. Should other leagues do Frozen Frenzies?
No, have every team. Play
every
on
team.
One day.
I mean, that is kind of cool.
Technically, baseball does that already.
I mean, because they have 160 games in a season.
Fair.
What does it actually get them besides a fun marketing?
I don't know.
Is it really all that fun?
Yeah, see, the stuff like the Winter Classic is way cooler because it's like, especially when they do it outside, like that to me is a more
play
worthy
hockey
event
on a pond in Canada. Like do better, be better, NHL. Honestly, just be better.
So ESPN has the rights to the Frozen Frenzy. They had a triple header, and they averaged 381,000 viewers.
That sucks.
Down 11% from last year.
Is that not as good as the Is the WNBA better now? So that would be
they got
interesting.
more viewers in the playoffs.
Yeah,
by a factor of.
They didn't even get 1 million. They didn't even get 1 million viewers, really.
Wow.
So a lot of the other games were streamed on ESPN Plus.
Okay.
Which how many people have ESPN Plus?
What do you have, Jefim?
I do because my
Mark,
cell phone plan gave it to me.
Is there a reason they did this? Like, what is their stated reason for? Are they thinking like somehow this will be like football and drum up interest?
It's a thing. Yeah, their marketing department apparently thinks this is a thing.
Interesting.
Okay.
And it's an interesting gimmick, but the prize is you get to watch hockey.
No one, like, until you said this, I hadn't heard of it. Did any of you guys heard of it?
That's why I phrased the question this way.
Yeah, like.
Well, Dane's gone, but Dane, if you listen at some point in the future, do you know about the Frozen Frenzy?
Yes. Please answer us.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Where do you know of people who like hockey in America?
Buffalo, but they suck for like the last.
I mean, Ranger games
15
are fun.
years, so
Bruins games are fun, but like, there's a certain
Boston does like hockey.
There's a certain group of people that watch hockey, like our friend Dane, but he's from Canada, right? And so I mean, like.
Yeah.
So were there Canadian ratings included in this too? Because I wonder if other countries contributed a lot better than the U.S. to this.
Hey Pete.
Yo.
I think you still have the website. I'm playing it up.
Shouldn't.
No, he doesn't.
You're behind. You're behind, yo. Go live.
I'm trying to look up history of the Frozen Frenzy, and I can't even find it.
I don't think anyone cares about the Frozen Frenzy, Mark.
I feel like this is I'm going to do the John thing and say, no, this is not a strategy that other leagues should copy. Next topic.
Yeah.
I mean.
All right. Yeah, let's make up some time. All right.
I mean, 2 minutes left. What else can we say about hockey and silly things?
Pete, do you want to mention anything about the Sabres?
Can they just please make the playoffs?
They're not going to. They're very bad.
Also, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
There we go.
That's all I got.
The Rangers are very good, so that's good.
Are they?
Yeah, they're doing very well, actually.
I know the Bruins are awful. They lost to the Stars today.
I think
look it up.
They're competing. There's so much competing for your attention these days, and even in terms of sports, I mean, the NHL plays at the same time basically as football, and I don't like.
But so does basketball.
Yeah, but if basketball has the same problem, is that like football's number one?
Jeff, and we mentioned this a few weeks back that there was an analysis done that they actually think within 10 years the WNBA will surpass the NHL in viewership and popularity.
That's looking more like that's looking more like 2 to 3 years at this point.
I mean, at the end of the day, people like basketball more than they like hockey in America.
Yeah.
I mean, the Stanley Cup playoffs still brings in a lot of viewership.
It does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
In certain markets, like probably not where we are, but there are markets that are big with it.
Even in this country, I believe last year.
Oh no, I was saying certain
Stanley
cities
Cup,
in this country. Yeah.
Yeah. The Stanley Cup playoffs, I believe, got like 8 million viewers, like on average.
Yeah.
I think the problem. I think just taking it back a step here, like hockey, it's not a good TV sport. I'm just.
It's
gonna say
not.
that,
It's so great live though.
Like it is
Yeah.
fun live, but it's not a good TV sport. And I've tried watching. I've tried getting into it for years, and it's just like it's hard to follow on the TV. The puck moves too quickly. They haven't sorted any of that out.
What about those years where
So
they
for
put
your
the
average
the
casual
laser
fan,
trail in the
like,
puck?
walking in.
Yeah, I missed that when Fox had it.
Yeah.
But I know it sounds silly, right? Like basketball games are interesting. There's constant momentum changes. Football games, right? The strategy, the momentum changes. Even baseball is suffering with this, I think. Like but it's still interesting to watch the batter and the pitcher, right? Whereas hockey, you're just I don't know. My experience has been like you said, the games in person are fun, but like watching it on TV it's not interesting. It's hard to follow and it's kind of boring.
Yeah, I can get that.
And also, like, name 10 hockey superstars, like household name superstars.
Drysdale.
Adam Oates,
But
I mean, like, right
current
now.
players.
Wayne Gretzky,
I think they just retired Marchand, right?
Tom Brady.
Wait, Marchand retired?
He doesn't. He
Am I
owns,
wrong?
he owns the Raiders now. He doesn't play hockey.
I used to know a lot of hockey players, and now I don't.
I don't believe you.
Yes.
Honestly.
No, one of the only.
I don't
Come
think I don't think
NHL
at any
96
time.
on my Sega Genesis was one of my favorite
Oh,
games.
yeah.
Listen, maybe Pete,
Great-
but the
great
three
Super
of
Nintendo
us, I
games
don't
or
think
Genesis
at any
games, yeah.
time in our life we could name 10 active hockey players.
Active
Maybe
hockey players?
5. No,
Whoa.
not you. You don't count.
In any part of our life?
I just
I could-
no.
Yeah, they're-
I definitely
in
couldn't.
the 90s. I
The
could've.
90s,
in
it
the
was a much
90s,
different
I
story.
definitely could have.
Yeah.
don't
I could
believe
probably name you 10 Bruins from the 90s.
you. No, but that's a little. I don't think that's fair though. Let's do
That was not fair.
Not-
That's you just
no,
said.
not-
you couldn't.
not
I couldn't
more
name
than-
10 people.
not more than two from your team.
That's
right?
not what you said.
I just don't think. I don't think you can.
Oh, I
honestly.
definitely could. I definitely could.
So do it.
Ooh.
All right.
On the spot.
So all right, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember my NHL '96 game.
Wow.
No.
First of all,
Laid it
Current
down.
players.
laid
what do you
it
mean that's,
down.
no. All right. How about? Oh, no. That's not what he said.
Oh,
He didn't
he
say
said-
current players.
he said back
He
in the
said
day.
10 NHL players
well,
at any
obviously
one
you can't
time.
name 10.
Okay.
Obviously, you can't name 10 current players. So the point still does stand.
Okay,
But
all right.
do
So let me start
what
with
you're
your
gonna do.
Rangers. You have Mark in the '96 NHL game. You had Mark Messier and Brian Leach. Okay, in the '96 for the Sabres, Pete Sabres, you had Alexander Mogilny and Pat LaFontaine.
La, la,
You know, you
Okay.
can say any name that sounds
Fontaine.
French or Canadian, and I would believe you.
Those are real. Those are legit.
For the Bruins, you have Adam Oates and Cam Neely. What's some other
Mario
teams that I come
Lemieux.
up for
Mario Lemieux.
Mario Lemieux, Yammer Yager for
Don't help him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
for the Devils, Scott Stevens and Marty Brodeur. I think I
Yep.
just named 10,
All right,
didn't
that's
I?
10. That's 10. Great job. Proud of you.
Fuck you, John.
Oh, Mark showed up for that one.
Fire.
Don't
right,
deny my
fire.
knowledge. Don't deny
Yes.
my knowledge.
End time. We filled the topic. Great job.
Guys, I am so proud of us bullshitting.
Mark, that was great.
Wait a second. There we go.
Wait,
All right.
and I just wanna-
hope you end that.
Hey, I just wanna
don't
say,
deny my
Mark-
knowledge.
I
100%
know it.
agree. NHL '96 was like the best
Yes!
one ever. I played that.
That was a
game
great
ever.
one.
That was amazing.
I was partial to the 94, but that just happened to be the one that my neighbor had on Super Nintendo. And if you plugged in the Super Multi-Tap, you could play 5 controllers at once. That was freaking
Oh,
cool.
dude, yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember that was the game for the PlayStation. Like everybody had.
Oh, 96. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I had it for the Sega Genesis.
They had it for the Genesis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They had Genesis had like Genesis and Super Nintendo had like 91 through 96 easy.
Joe Montana 2 was the very first sports
Yeah,
game
Sega
I ever
Genesis.
had.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Shit.
Do you guys remember Slapshot?
The movie,
I
yeah.
remember it.
Yeah.
No.
No, the game. Talking about the game.
The game.
Oh, no.
What was the Nintendo one with the really great opening? And they go,
Yes. I know what you're talking about.
it was such a great hockey game. They had random, like, the Los Angeles hockey players.
Yep, and they
all had weird colors.
Dude, for the old Nintendo, they had an actual announcer. The sound
they
quality
did.
was
I'm
terrible,
looking it
but you
up.
could actually understand what he was saying.
I think it was just called ice hockey, right?
There was ice hockey and there was one other one. The one we're thinking of is different. But I remember we screwed up the announcer because when you hit somebody, they would go like, "Oh!" So
yes, that's what they would do.
And the announcer though, sometimes like it was this really difficult pass, and he'd be like, "He gets the pass," but
I found it. Blades of Steel.
Yes. Yes, Blades of Steel. So
I loved Blades of Steel.
All right, shout out to my cousin Adam. We were playing this game once, and when I was sleeping over at their house, and we like rented it that night, and we made this amazing pass, and then I immediately got checked. So the announcer was like, "He gets the I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious at the time. You had to be there.
We went from barely making 5 minutes to going way over.
We're not way over. We're just like a little over. All right.
By the way, I'm sorry, guys. It was an NHL 98 I played on the PlayStation.
Wrap it up.
Okay.
All right.
Jesus, I like Blades of Steel a lot.
So I put my hands up. It's next topic time. Everybody will start to say, big talking heads like, yeah. Debating back and forth, yeah.
All right, Miley.
Amazing.
All right. Let's do it this direction. So, Deadpool and Wolverine released this summer and proved that Marvel might still have something left to show us, currently at a whopping massive $1.3 billion box office worldwide.
Wow.
Not only did it prove that Marvel fans want projects with characters they know, but also they want them to be more adult in content. So Tuesday, this week, Ryan Reynolds released some photos from the set of what seems to be a new Deadpool project, with very clear photos of Christmas decorations and Santa in the background. So with Deadpool, Logan, Daredevil Born Again, Echo, and several other R-rated projects both proven and in the hopper, do we think this is the solution for society's current Marvel fatigue? And also, is anyone caught up with Agatha all along? Because I love that show.
It sounds like you all are. I'm the outlier here for Agatha.
Yeah, I'm all caught up on Agatha.
I need to start that.
They are doing probably one of my favorite Marvel storylines.
Wiccan?
I mean, yes, Wiccan, but also House of M. They're doing House of M.
Oh, that is kind of cool. Okay.
Oh my God, House of M, Jesus Christ. There's so much cool shit that happens. Not only, and just to talk about diversity for a second, Wiccan, the first openly gay character in the MCU, and they're just doing it. So fucking go Marvel, right?
Sounds good.
I think that, and we talked about it on the show, but like, I think Deadpool and Wolverine works. I think Logan works because like, they're not fucking around. They know what people want. They're just literally handing it to you. They're like, This is the formula. Like, we know that we like Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. We know that we like Deadpool. We know that we like Wolverine. And we know that we like not being silly. I like a silly comic book movie, but I really like a serious one. Like, and I like that Deadpool and Wolverine was like a little of both.
Well, it was the classic buddy cop.
Yep.
It was
The straight guy in the comic relief.
For sure.
Well, this is what I'm afraid of. If they try to reproduce the magic of Deadpool and Wolverine, it's essentially going to be like Anchorman and Anchorman 2. Like Anchorman was a good movie, and then they just did all the same jokes in Anchorman 2, and you're like, eh.
I mean,
and Deadpool. Pete, have you finally seen Deadpool and Wolverine?
No, we're gonna see it soon. I promise.
There were a lot of great jokes. I mean, all the jabs that they had at 20th Century Fox, and even some of the old like Marvel things that they did. It was
essentially a eulogy to 20th Century Fox.
It was.
I think that's hilarious.
They literally put a broken down 20th Century Fox like the statue in like the void. It was like there. They were like, wonder what this thing is.
But would I want to see that again? No, I don't.
I don't think that's necessarily the meat of the question. I think the meat of the question.
No, you're absolutely right.
Right.
No,
yeah.
It's looking
at. Let's look ahead from there. Is I think the point here.
Let's go back.
Why did it make $1 billion, and why did Quantum Mania make $200 million? Right.
It made so much money because the big marketing behind Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. Just that man. That romance that they have there, like that's really was that has essentially been a marketing campaign for the last 10 years.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. That was just waiting to happen.
It's the same thing. it's the same thing that's been killing them, John. We talked about this last time. I think I was on. They didn't have any known memorable characters in they really failed in phase 4 to establish that. So what did they do? They brought back 2 characters essentially, right? And that everyone loves.
And they keep
they're doing it again. They're doing it again with
Keep doing
Doctor Doom now. And honestly, I think they're making a mistake. I'm going to say I don't think this is a good idea.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea.
On the same line, however, I am really enjoying how they're revisiting WandaVision with the vehicle of Agatha all along. It feels very similar, but is definitely different, right? So I think that
absolutely.
all of the choices they're making in Agatha all along are very, very good.
And Pete, again, you're good. I like the most recent episode that they just did. There's a lot of time hopping, so you're gonna, I think, really enjoy it.
Sure. I mean,
and Patty LuPone. I mean, I fucking love everything that Patty LuPone does.
She was amazing. She made the episode.
And like the choice, right, to appeal to the LGBTQ plus community with this show, with Patty LuPone, with all the costumes, with all the singing, really making it very, very, very diverse, but also like very appealing. Like it's very like the romance in it is palpable. Right?
I think they did it in a really nice way too, because it didn't look like they were just trying to do that. It's just I think it just kind of just it just all seemed natural. I think, and maybe that's just a sign of the times now. Like when you see 2 gay characters like kissing on camera, it doesn't really seem that bad now. Meanwhile, back in '98 when Will and Grace did it, it was like a big thing.
Oh my god, yeah.
And maybe it's just because I'm a straight man, but like, when did Aubrey Plaza become a sapphic icon?
I mean, I think she's been that way for a little while.
It's amazing. And they're so excited by everything that happens in this show.
Oh my god, yeah. And I love Aubrey Plaza too and everything that she does.
She's
even
awesome,
watched she did a movie with Elizabeth Olsen where she like, I forget what it's called now, but she like stalked Elizabeth Olsen like on social media.
Yep.
Like it really wasn't that good of a movie, but I watched it because of Aubrey Plaza.
You love Aubrey Plaza.
But this is the only issue I do like the show, to be clear. I'm enjoying it. And I agree, it's pretty good. It's well written. The thing I'm seeing though, John, you guys are even making the point. The title character is not that interesting.
Well, I
do you care what Agatha's doing? I don't really care what she's been doing. Like,
I think that she is good enough. And this was my question way in the beginning before the show started that I brought up on the show. I didn't know if Catherine Hahn was enough of a leading lady to lead a show. She's funny. She's funny. She's like, this is the same question I had with Caitlin Olsen and High Potential that we just talked about. She's funny. I believe their romance, which I really like. I believe her being evil, which I really like. I like the character.
It's a great character. It's a fantastic character.
No, John, I'm not arguing any of that, but I'm saying like we're just talking about Ryan Reynolds, right, and Hugh Jackman. Like,
she's not at that level. Obviously,
I'm not finding Agatha. The title of the show is Agatha all along, right?
She's the title character, but I actually feel she's not the main character. Because they put a good amount of time into pretty much everyone in the coven.
Yep.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes. And so the last 2 episodes, to not give it away to the listeners and to Pete, the last 2 episodes have been kind of a little bit of origin stories, a little bit of explanation of all the other like non-main characters. And I've really liked those episodes a lot. I think that the teen character for the boy has been that was a very, very, very good episode.
All right.
Yeah.
And then this last one was about Layla, who is she's the seer.
The clairvoyant,
She's the clairvoyant witch. Yeah. And so and that's Patty LuPone, who's like a famous Broadway actress.
I mean, if it's better than American Horror Story Coven, I'm all in. Although that was, honestly, I didn't mind that season of American Horror Story, but it's giving me vibes of that a little bit.
So I'm watching it with Jamie. It is enough scary that she feels tense, but not super scary.
Okay.
I think it feels like it's very good for the time of year. I just think they really thought about it. It's very well planned. Very well planned.
I'm definitely going to watch it. It's just a matter of when.
Of shows, probably the best show since WandaVision. Yeah. It's not better than WandaVision, but the best show since WandaVision.
Okay.
It's really well written. I really give them a lot of credit. It's really well written.
It's amazing what you can do when the script is written well.
Yeah.
That goes such a long way.
They had so the banger, the Down the Witch's Road that you probably heard on the radio. They had the
Wait, it's
the
getting
wife-
radio airplay?
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
The husband and wife that wrote the Frozen songs, they asked them to write it. So
Oh
it's
yeah,
written
it
by
definitely
them.
sounds like a
Wow.
Frozen song.
Mark, Marvel is owned by Disney. This is what Disney
Yeah, that's
I
right.
know. I know.
Yeah.
No.
And I don't know if they necessarily asked them and more tasked them, because I'm assuming that Disney owns their souls.
Of course they do.
Probably.
Probably.
Is
John, to
But-
go back on your original question though about whether Marvel was trying to go to a little bit more adult. I mean, I will say this: that what was the last really good X-Men movie?
Days of
Logan,
Future,
right?
Well,
I
oh
mean-
yeah,
Oh, you mean
okay.
that from that world? You're saying yeah, it was.
Yeah, Logan.
It was
I mean,
Logan.
yes. Logan was probably the best.
And what
thing
was
that
Logan?
Fox,
R.
it was R-rated, but I mean, Logan was
R.
probably the best thing that Fox did all of those years that they
Yeah.
owned the X-Men. It
Yeah.
was probably the
No,
best
no,
thing
no,
they
no,
did.
no, 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 no. What? Rewind. Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past was pretty
Well, it's
good.
better than
Oh,
Logan.
X2 was
Logan
pretty
was
good.
better than Days of Future
You think
Past.
so?
I don't.
Well, okay, it was probably a better
I
written
like
movie.
Logan,
was
way
a
better.
great. Logan was a great send off, but like, I Days of Future Past was an.
I
That was
only-
pretty
I-
cool.
listen,
Yeah, I enjoyed Days of
think-
Future Past. I agree, Jeff.
I think we really only enjoyed Days of Future Past because it tied the two universes together, and they did a really good job with it.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel that Logan was a much better movie.
I mean, I struggled
guess-
a little just
yeah.
as a fanboy. I struggled a little with the 1970s X-Men and the big time jump and the very it was a little disjointed with the whole Magneto story being separate from the X-Men story.
Mhm.
The super nerd in me had a trouble with Havoc being 40 years younger.
well,
than
yeah,
Scott.
right, yeah. The timelines did not work out at all.
I was like,
but-
that's
Yeah.
Havoc, but it's 1970. What's happening?
yeah. Beast
I had
too
trouble with
wasn't
that. I got
Beast
over-
also
I
from
got
there?
over that though. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the Quicksilver though. Evan Peters as Quicksilver, probably also one of the best.
Oh, that
things
was
the Fox
amazing,
X-Men
yes.
universe did. Because I love Evan Peters, and all of those things were great.
That said, in terms of Marvel getting their mojo back, I do think there's something there. They are listening to the fans. I agree with what you said, and I don't want to give this away, Pete, because you haven't seen it, but how they hinted in this episode that someone may still be alive, possibly, maybe
Ooh.
one of their best characters.
Okay.
that they
She's
should not
100%
have killed.
coming back.
Yeah.
It's the only reason for this
Nice.
show. This vehicle is 100% the reason. It is literally what's happening.
All right.
Elizabeth has decided that she's done taking her break and she wants to make a ton of money again.
Yeah.
So
Well-
she's going to be like, oh, I'm going to come back and make a ton of money.
Well, that's exciting.
And she's one of the most compelling characters.
Yeah.
She's
in
so
the
very,
MCU
very
right
good.
now.
And
So-
they have an opportunity to fix the fuck up that was Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not doing her
God.
any justice, not doing her character arc any justice.
Yeah, that
Can
was.
I just call out the latest news that came out about that, John? I'm
I-
sorry, guys. I don't mean to. No. Did you see?
Yeah, I did.
They
You told me.
admitted they hadn't even seen WandaVision.
What?
That's why they
Nice.
didn't know. They didn't know her character arc because they didn't even see it. They had no idea. They were like, oh, so she had an arc that she was headed a certain way. Huh, maybe we should.
So you know how we said good
Maybe we
rating?
really
shouldn't have
Good
just
rating makes a
made her
good
evil
show.
in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Fuck
bad
you
rating
guys.
makes a
God
very
damn it.
bad show or movie. I'm still very excited to see what they do with Daredevil Born Again. I hope it lives up to the originals,
Yeah.
the original
Well, they
run
got
on
everybody
Netflix.
to come back.
Yeah,
Deborah Ann Wall's coming back.
Yeah.
Everybody's back. So, I like Charlie Cox. Charlie Cox is probably the best Daredevil they put on screen.
Oh,
Sorry, Ben,
the actor
but-
playing Kingpin too. I mean, the Karen Page, like Foggy, like it was such a good cast. I really liked all their chemistry together.
Oh, and we have. I know you guys did talk about it. I listened to the episode, but I'm going to call it out here. Thunderbolts.
I
Yes.
love it so.
Awesome.
Thunderbolts
It looks so
asterisk.
good.
I am.
Looks so good.
And I think it's because I'm partially because I'm a big Florence Pugh fan, a big
Florence
Yelena,
Pew.
a big Yelena Belova fan. I think that the arc of that film is going to be very good. I really like that he cleans the Winter Soldier arm in the washing machine. Makes
Yeah,
me
it
really
looks like-
happy.
It looks like Bucky is back. We've got Yelena Belova. We've got Red Guardian, who is just absolutely hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
Every time I see David Harbour before he was famous in like a random action movie, I say David Harbour
Yes.
Yeah.
because he wasn't
and-
fat yet.
Oh,
and
yeah.
of course, you guys said it. I'm sorry. I'm just calling out what you already talked about, but Sentry. Yes. Yes.
They didn't even know what I was fucking talking about when I said Sentry, Jefim.
Oh, well, he's Marvel Superman.
Marvel Superman.
Yeah. See, okay.
Except he's Marvel chaotic neutral Superman.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay,
he's
so I have to learn
crazy.
more. All right.
He doesn't like people, and he's invincible, and he flies, and he's super strong.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like people. He has none of the qualms about humanity that Superman has.
Yes.
Because he was built in a lab.
So you guys, I'm so sorry. My bladder's about to explode.
Don't do it.
I have to. I gotta pull.
No.
You have 2 more topics left.
It's not gonna make it, dude. I'll be right.
We gotta move. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on without you.
All
Just go pee.
Okay, I'll be right back.
We are
And now
way
a
over
small
time.
commercial
Sorry.
break.
Throw up the Pete avatar while you're
Because
away.
it's the Marvel topic.
All
I
right,
don't even
wait.
have control.
So, all right, you have a choice between Mary J. Blige, Snoop Dogg, or Pink.
Mary
J.
Pink?
Blige, Snoop Dogg,
Okay.
or Pink? Pink or
Snoop Dogg, obviously.
You want
I would
Snoop
take
Dogg?
Pink or Snoop Dogg.
Every
Okay.
day.
Was this Snoop Dogg reading the weather? Is that where this is going?
No. It's my next topic song. That's actually the song, John.
Oh, wow.
When the stream's going live now. Next topic is hot. Next topic is hot. Next topic is hot.
Yeah, we're so good at
Oh,
this.
my God. That was amazing.
That was
and horrible
amazing.
all at the same time.
Oh, that's pretty great.
All right.
Your topic, bro.
It's my turn, I know. All right. We
Don't do
avoided talking about this.
Oh, you're going to do it.
But now we must, since the election is only 2 weeks away. That's right. It's time to get political.
12 days.
Let's get political. I want to get political. Let's get so political.
Pete's going to be
Pete-
so sad. He's
I know.
the most political
Pete will be
person.
sad.
Do it.
All right.
Press the button.
So, everyone. Wait, what button?
The timer button. Jesus Christ.
So, all right. With the DOJ claiming that Elon Musk giving out $1 million, possibly being illegal, but not really willing to do anything about it.
Possibly.
Do we think this is a winning strategy? And how do we see the presidential election panning out?
Well, at this point, they're saying the quiet parts out loud. Trump has admitted that he's going to give Elon Musk, for all of his money, he's going to give Elon Musk control of business regulation. So, I mean, like, even if Elon Musk gave them $1 billion, he's going to make more than $1 billion they're literally admitting to corruption now, which is absolutely fucking wild. It's wild. And
So he did back off. Elon actually backed off a little bit about this. So he was supposed to announce a winner every single day up until the election. But today, there was no actual winner announced in that $1 million giveaway.
Also,
Yeah, because that's kind of illegal to directly bribe people.
now
to
we know the
elect a
reason he
certain
bought
person.
Twitter, because he turned Twitter into Truth Social.
Mhm.
It happened, you guys. We know the reason. We knew there would be a reason. We know the reason. Twitter's a fucking cesspool.
Mhm.
I mean, it's bad. Everything's bad, you guys. The fact that a absolutely reasonable woman who's preaching equality, peace, and happiness, who's preaching, she has a plan, and she sounds like a nice person. I know she's not a nice person, but she sounds like a nice person. Tim Walz is essentially Pete's dad.
He is a nice person. Yeah.
Yes, he really
Tim Walz is essentially Pete's dad.
Yes, I think.
I mean, the fact that it's only tied is wild to me. Wild. And I can't believe I live in a country where this is happening.
That's how the rest of the world views it too.
Yep.
It's kind of absurd.
Well, John, as you like to say, we are in the darkest timeline.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
If it was
Literally
believe that
admitted.
until,
Right.
I didn't believe
God,
that
Pete, I'm
until
sorry.
this.
I'll post if you guys let me. So you guys.
if it just came down to some of the more reasonable policies that were discussed, I could see it because
Oh, we're not talking about policies
right,
at all.
but right, we've gone so far past that at this point where it's you have a raving lunatic who's obviously has dementia at this point. Running against pretty much a guy that it's like I dare you to find anything wrong with him as the vice president. I'm saying the vice president.
She's a woman.
I'm saying the vice president.
Speaking of head injuries, did you see the Trump pose with Antonio Brown at a Steelers game?
Oh God.
Oh, Jesus.
And I mean,
Right.
like talking about saying the quiet parts. Go ahead, Pete. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. So Kamala, she as for the president, I feel like is your almost dead center. Like she's really trying to do, and maybe this is actually why. Well, she's been spending most of her campaign trying to appeal to the right lately, which is actually direct correlation with why all of the polls are getting so close, because she's no longer preaching a progressive message.
Yeah, her whole thing about with the going to the right now is she's trying to appeal to Nikki Haley's voters, of which a lot of people were voting for Nikki Haley because she was not Donald Trump. And essentially that's what Kamala is saying. I'm not Donald Trump. You wanted to vote for someone that wasn't Donald Trump, and guess what your option is?
Unfortunately, they would, because Donald Trump is a Republican, they would rather vote for Donald Trump than
you
have
those people.
And that's the sad part of the country.
You have those Republican voters that will always vote Republican. You have those Democratic voters that will always vote Democrat, regardless of the candidate.
Right, but there's still 40% of people that could go either way.
Jefim has thoughts, and he's too young. What's up, Jefim?
He's too young? Is
that young. I meant low.
Jesus.
Your volume's too low. But
is it low again?
No.
Oh, were you saying something?
Yeah, Mark
just kept talking over you.
Mark was speaking over you, and I saw you kept trying. Anyway, go.
No, I was just gonna. I mean, I don't really know where to start. I think I'm kind of dumbfounded about where we are. I don't know how you guys. I think that's where we all feel, right? I agree. I don't understand how on earth it is this close. You've got somebody who is obviously out of his fucking mind. He, at this point, literally everyone who was in his cabinet before, every general has come out now. Every single one has said,
his chief of staff.
No, this guy is a fascist.
Right.
He 100% is. If you let him, he will become a dictator. They're all saying it now.
Yep.
They're not even like, this is even Mattis.
Well,
Mattis is like, if General Mattis is like one of those people that would never speak ill of anyone, and he came out and said, no, this guy, if you let him, he will do it. 100%.
Didn't Trump himself even say he would literally be a dictator for the first day? And was to say that?
Yeah,
he actually said this.
And stepping outside of dictator, the fascism thing, we're hearing the stories. He really does like Germany. He liked Hitler.
What about the times he quotes Mein Kampf?
Like,
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, it's just at the point I'm sitting here, and then I hear people say that the left is fascist, and I'm like, when you hear that, the cognitive dissonance, right? It's just we're at the point now. I'm like, I don't even know how to communicate to people on the other side anymore.
If they're calling left-wing fascist, then I think you have to use the Inigo Montoya line. You keep using that word. I don't think you know what, or I don't think it means what you think it means.
Yeah, I guess it just feels too real to me. My father, my father-in-law, and my brother are
my
all
whole family,
going to
Jeff.
vote
My
for
whole
him.
my whole family.
And I'm sitting here and I talk to them, and truly they are so off the rails with the things they say. I'm like, it's not even at a point where I tend to be a person who tries to really listen and talk to people, but I'm at the point I'm like, everything you're saying is fundamentally wrong. So there is no basis for me to have a conversation with you. Yeah. I don't even know how to communicate.
What do they say that they will gain from him being in office again? That's what I'd like to know. Like, do they know what they're voting for? Because I feel like a lot of them don't, and that's a failure. That's a failure of the media. That's a failure of a lot of things in this country.
The only thing I hear about that, like a positive thing from Trump, is everyone's convinced the economy will be better because of him.
Yeah,
but no one can tell me why.
Right.
And he can't tell you why.
It's okay.
And every single analyst and every single person that's left or right says the opposite.
Concepts of a plan, Pete. It's okay.
Right.
No, it's what you guys are saying.
Yeah, he literally said that in a debate.
It's
and everyone believes
just down
him.
To a cult of personality. We're just down to a cult of personality.
It's a cult.
It should just
cult of personality.
It should have never become teams. It should have never become our side versus their side. And unfortunately, some of the issues are so very polarizing that it allowed it to be.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, he struck while the iron was hot. I mean, he kind of saw something that was going on in this country back in 2016, and he took advantage of it.
Yeah.
And he got what he wanted. But
I mean, I give him credit for that.
What I find interesting is he's trying to use the same exact playbook. He's trying to use the same playbook that he used in 2016. He used it in 2020, and he's trying to use it again. We'll see what happens.
So to speak to Jeffim's point, Mattis, and I think it was Mattis, literally said that he had told him that he wished his military was more like Hitler's, that the
Yeah.
military was loyal to him and not the country.
Was this
because-
Mattis or John Kelly that you're talking
John
about?
Kelly.
Yeah, it might have been Kelly. Oh no, it was
And
the other.
to follow up on that, he literally this is not supposition. This is not us taking it out of context. These are things that came out of the man's mouth. He literally said that he is the most concerned, more than Russia, more than China, the most concerned about politicians, American politicians that are against him, including and he did say in clear words that he would use the military to get recompense against them once he was in office. I mean, we're literally talking about the playbook.
He
of
named
effect.
names too.
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
named Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi specifically.
Yep.
He did. Yeah,
Which-
and it's crazy what you just said, John. It's no longer like they are saying the quiet part out loud. There are, I mean, John.
Oh, there's
Stewart
no
was
such thing
playing
as
it
an
on The
inside
Daily
voice
Show.
anymore. Yeah.
I mean, it's truly like they will say, people will say like, "Oh, he didn't say that," and then they'll play clips of him saying
Yeah.
exactly that, and you're like, "No, he has said all of these things."
After
Like,
he said that, and this was this week or last week, after he said the whole enemy from within thing, every single media news station that is either mid or left was just like, he's saying it, you guys. It's here. We recorded it.
And yet
Yeah.
the mid ones still somehow find a way to like smooth it over, which pisses
While
me
he's
off.
a wild man and crazy and completely out of his mind and definitely going into like old age dementia, I think very truly. They know how to speak to. They just know how to speak to the population that is going to vote for him.
Yeah.
The anger population, the people who are not happy with their own lives, the low to middle class white people who live in Ohio and Texas that they also aren't making do. These people also are having a tough time because
Sure.
it's really hard to make it right now. But
But that's not the solution. That they're
the
not
bottom
going
line
to vote
is
for the
that
solution that would actually
Trump is
help them.
preaching the right, and Trump is preaching fear and division,
Yeah. Fear mongering. Yeah.
and the left isn't.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
It's funny. Masha said something to me, my wife, the other day that it's an angle because I'm a white dude. I didn't consider this, and I'm sure, John, you're thinking about it with your daughter, and I'm sure others have heard it. But she said how sad she is on so many levels. Not just that Trump will take over, but once again, for a second time, a very qualified woman will be once again more than likely lose to to Trump. I mean,
Yeah.
for all of the things he is, and
I'm not
she
100%
truly was
convinced
sad
of
about
that.
it.
Well, she is early polls, the polls that I looked up, because I did essentially the same
50-50.
question.
Yeah.
It's 50-50. Some say 46-43 with her in the lead.
The problem is, if you look at the polling, the Electoral College, you need to be up at least 3% to actually win, and she's down now to 2% over, and she's losing in most of the swing states at this point, even by slight percentages.
Yep.
So it is 50%, but it's like 54 to 46.
Right.
It's like
It's
it
just
is
so
the problem is,
wild,
yeah,
that
insane.
The country does not have a direct majority election per person. Like that. I mean, right. You have to win the Electoral College, which is heavily biased towards rural, smaller states that tend to vote Republican. So, which is why the 5 times where the president elected was against what the popular vote was, always went Republican.
That's
So-
it. John, your point is strong. I just want to call out the populism side of this, because that's what he's playing on, him and Vance, essentially.
Mhm.
It's been interesting to watch the right move to the kind of like this new populism type of movement.
But their policies aren't populist. That's the
No, Pete, I know, but the rhetoric is, right.
That's
But
what baffles me though. Is does no one actually look at what they're actually
they
trying to
don't.
pass?
they don't.
No,
They're
all they
stupid.
look at is, I live in Ohio. I've watched the factories close for the last 30 to 40 years. I've watched my life get worse and worse. And now I've got a scapegoat, right? I can point
Yeah.
to immigration or China or whatever else Trump is saying. And yeah, that's why this has gotten so shitty. When meanwhile, it's guys like him that have been outsourcing all the jobs and closing all the factories,
Right.
changing the policies so that can happen.
Mhm.
So it's truly bonkers. I truly don't. And That said, the Democrats have not done themselves any favors. Essentially, they economically aligned with the right. And I think I want to bring it back to your original point, Pete. I agree. I actually think when Kamala started moving more to the center, I think she did herself a disservice.
Yeah.
I really do believe that. I think she needed to stay more on some of the leftist ideas. Some of that, I think that would have moved the needle a lot more.
Yep.
It's why Fetterman won in Pennsylvania. Fetterman was really like a down-to-earth Democrat who was talking about the real issues on the ground. And as soon as Kamala stopped doing that, like that's what's been hurting her.
Yep. Progressive economic policies are widely successful amongst conservatives and liberals in this country. And yet neither party seems to acknowledge that.
So we're way over time, guys.
We are way over. We had fit 2 hours on the live stream.
And we still got to do one more. You know what time it is, Mark?
Oh, here we go. It's the fun topic.
Almost. Better than normal. So, guys, I've been saving it because I'm really excited. So, way back in 2009, Anthony Volpe was an 8-year-old Yankee fan from New York City and went to the parade when his favorite team, the New York Yankees, won the World Series. The last time they won, sadly. In that World Series, his favorite player, Derek Jeter, hit .408 with 11 hits and an RBI. So now Anthony Volpe is the starting shortstop in this year's Fall Classic for the New York Yankees. So besides a 15-year gap with the last series appearance, there are a ton of interesting stories with this year's Yankee team. The emergence of a Yankee bullpen out of seemingly nowhere, specifically Luke Weaver, Clay Holman's, Tommy Canale, and the elephant in the room, Juan Soto, and his record-breaking soon-to-be $700 million plus contract. So what do you think about this year's New York Yankees? What is the most interesting story, and do you think they have a chance to beat the juggernaut that is the LA Dodgers?
Nope.
Dodgers in 4. Next topic.
Wow.
No.
You're off the show.
Almighty sadness.
No, I don't think the Dodgers
quiet part out loud.
I don't think the Dodgers are going to sweep, but I think the Dodgers are a little too much. Will the Yankees pitching kind of hold out?
He was very good in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That Indian team is a
You
very
did
good
not
team.
face. You did not face anyone like the Dodgers, though.
You haven't faced anybody like the Dodgers.
I mean, you said this yourself, John. So you have Soto and Judge, and now probably Stanton is probably going to be batting cleanup. I'm guessing. That's a big 3 right there. The Dodgers have a big 8.
Yeah, they do.
Whoa.
Their lineup is ridiculous.
I mean, I think that is understating it just a little bit. I think the Jazz had a very good playoff. I think that Volpe had a very good playoff. I think that even high as a kite, Alex Verdugo had a very good playoff. I mean, the team played very well. I think that the pitching was a lot better than I expected. Rookie Luis Gil looked excellent. I think that Rodon looked excellent. I think that Garrett Cole didn't, but I think Garrett Cole at least has the skill set to step up in the playoffs. And there's no matter what you say about the current New York Yankees, there is no, besides the one game that they blew, there's no thing that you can say about the dominance, honestly, of the Yankee bullpen. So
let's take a step back here. You said it yourself. So Carlos Rondon, you have all the faith in the world. With him against the Dodgers.
I just saying he had a very good playoff. And the playoffs, the Yankees have looked much, much better.
But he's facing the Dodgers.
I mean,
so you think he can win a game against the Dodgers?
Can we rewind a little bit? The Dodgers, I mean, not to put down the New York Mets, but the Dodgers gave up like 7 runs a game.
Mm-hmm. And how many did they score?
Sure. They scored 47 runs a game.
They scored, I believe, at least 8 runs in all of the games that they played against the Mets. Jefim, am I correct in that?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Not the ones the Mets won. Because the Mets also scored 8 runs.
Yeah. Yes.
I think they scored 10 that game, but
they weren't like a 10
you're right.
game.
It was a 12-7, I think, or 12-8.
But I mean, I'm just saying. I think that let's just compare and contrast. The New York Yankees, 1 series less than the New York Mets, are in a much better momentum spot.
Yeah.
I think that the win against the Indians in 11 innings with a home run by Juan Soto. Lots of heroics.
Absolutely.
Right?
No.
I think that puts them
Great
in
win.
very, very good position.
Great win. And you thought that
Um,
was going to be a close series too, and they won in 5. Was it 5
They
games?
played them very closely. I expected the Indians to take one more game, but every game was tight.
No.
That Indians team is very good. I mean,
Very good team.
They had a little bit of jitters in the beginning that
Potentially
I
the
think
best closer in the game right now as well in Class A.
yeah, Class A, like great. We hit Class A. We hit all these really very good. Like the Indians on paper in the regular season, probably the best bullpen in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think the. So I know I joked about Dodgers in 4. I actually think they match up better against the Dodgers than the Mets, actually, in a lot of ways. And just being frank, and I hate saying this, John, I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize to all my fellow Mets fans. I think the Yankees are a better team than the Mets.
Wow.
They have a better line.
And that's
they have
not
a
even
better
like
lineup,
better
better
team than the
pitch-
Mets.
They have better lineup, better pitching, and better bullpen. I actually don't think they're in a bad position. I think this is pretty evenly matched. It's going to be.
I think it's going to be played tight.
I think
I'm not going to say the
tight.
Yankees are going to win, and I'm not going to say the Dodgers are going to win, but it's going to go long, 6 or 7. I hope the Yankees win.
So I will say,
I don't know about 6 or 7.
I think so.
I think it's going to come down to who pitches better.
okay.
Obviously, it's going to.
And the bottom line is both teams have deficiencies. That's why I'm saying in that regard. So does Garrett Cole show up? If the
So
Garrett Cole
that's
from
what I'm trying to
last
look
year
up right
shows
now. Yeah.
Like that would be like, okay, shut down. Like, what were you going to say, Mark?
No, I'm actually looking up who are the game 1 starters. Do we know this yet?
I mean, it's tomorrow.
I'm assuming it's Cole and Walker, Bueller. Is that not it?
I don't know. I can't seem to. I'm trying to look that up right now. I mean, Cole is their ace, right?
Mhm.
Do we think that Cole is gonna, not
Oh, it's
implode?
Flaherty.
And
wow.
Jake Flaherty and Garrett Cole.
Oh, interesting move, Flaherty. Okay. Well, he was there. He was not their best starter. That's interesting. Okay.
And this is 2-3-2 because the Dodgers had a 4-game better, so it's going to start in LA,
Okay.
I believe.
I
no.
wonder if the-
Well, wasn't. Oh wait, no. The AL.
I don't think they're
who won
doing
the
that
AL
anymore.
Oh, they're not
The
doing
AL
that anymore.
The AL won, but I don't think they're doing that anymore because I heard that the Dodgers had home field advantage.
well,
They do
it's
have home
in-
field advantage. Looking
It's in
at it right
Dodger
now.
Stadium.
Yeah,
And
because
they had a
it's
better,
2-3-2.
they had a better
Oh,
record.
it is. They're not doing 4 and 3.
They are doing 4 and
No.
3. They do 2 in the best
Ooh.
team, 3 in the second best team, and then the final 2 in the best
Oh,
team.
okay.
Yamamoto is game 2 starter for the Dodgers.
That's what I was just looking at. I was surprised. I was like, wow, that's an interesting move.
So it looks like it's
All
going to
right.
be Yamamoto versus Rondon
That makes sense.
or Rodon. Sorry, I keep calling him Rondon.
I know it's okay.
The janitor, you mean?
The janitor.
Not
Yeah.
anymore,
When,
baby.
when he's a janitor, he's Rondon.
He had a very good year. I mean, he won
Yeah, he won a lot of games.
18 games, 16 games. I mean, kind of even what we paid him for, right?
John, it sounds like you're trying to convince yourself. It really does.
A little bit.
I think
I will
Listen, in
say-
2009, the Yankees weren't supposed to beat the Phillies, and we did. In the beginning of this season, the Yankees pitching in their bullpen wasn't good enough, and it was. Sure, spending $500 million on Juan Soto helps a lot, and it did.
John, I just want to call out the 2009 team is much better than this team.
I agree.
Like your pitching was ridiculous that year. You had
Mhm.
what was his name? You had CC Sabathia and you had
Messina.
AJ Burnett and
AJ
you had
Burnett.
Messina. No, Messina. I think it
Messina
retired
wasn't
the
on
year
there.
before. Yeah,
But I mean,
he's
you-
the best pitcher not to not win a World Series.
and you had Pettit. So you had your 3
Oh,
guys.
you
You
still
had
Wait,
your
Pettit was
three
still playing in
guys.
09.
Pettit stare.
Yeah. So I'm just saying one thing.
Andy
I did
Pettit,
wanna
by the
ask
way,
John.
Pete, Andy Pettit, the best playoff pitcher in baseball history.
Oh, I know. His name. He's a big enough name where I know too.
No, but like playoffs more. I don't
Okay.
think he lost 3 games in the playoffs.
Wow.
I believe in 2009. You can look this up, but I believe the final game, the decider game, was Game 6, and I think Pettit pitched it on 3 days rest.
He did.
And he
I think
and he was
you're
the
right
winning
about
pitcher.
that. Yeah.
So, anyway, point is the better pitching. But John, do you have any lefties to shut down Otani? I
Shut
did
your
want to
face.
ask that. You don't. Okay, so that's a no. All right, that's
We
gonna
have
be a
lefty
problem.
hitters now. We only got one.
No, but I meant
lefty.
pitching because the
I know.
Dodgers have a power lefty lineup. I mean, you got free.
Isn't Rodon lefty?
He is a lefty, but I meant it out of the bullpen.
Oh, the bullpen.
Yeah.
Oh, is that important?
How do you tell me?
Well, With Ohtani, yeah.
Well, I will say this. I know I can't really contribute too much to this since I don't follow baseball too much, but I have married into being a Yankees fan because it's only fair. Steph married into being a Bills fan. So
Straight up.
I'm gonna have to root for it. And I actually asked Steph if she was gonna watch any of this coming series. She wasn't sure, but I think we may have to. I'm excited to see how this turns out.
Tim Hill,
It's Los
very
Angeles versus New York.
Right.
Tim Hill,
It's what we talked
very
about last
actually
episode.
good
It's
in the
the best
ALCS.
ratings possibility that they could have asked for.
And what's it face? I just saw it. Tim Mayaza, who also pitched pretty good. But Tim Hill.
Okay. So you got a couple lefties. All right. Yeah.
And then Rodon and Nestor.
Oh, Nestor.
Nestor.
Man.
Nestor is on the roster. Whether or not he's healthy enough to pitch is another story. But
Mr. Wacky Windup himself, huh?
Yeah. I still am shocked that he's allowed to do the things he do. Also, side note, how does Luke Weaver throw 96? He weighs like 100 pounds.
How long are his arms?
the same way, the same reason why Pedro could throw that fast.
He's like a little tiny man.
Angular momentum,
He literally is 6'2", 183. Clay Holmes is literally 60 pounds heavier than him. He's just a tiny little man.
The magic number is 6'2", or his arm span, which is probably longer than his height.
No, I think I am not comparing him to Mariano Rivera. However, he is tiny and mechanically very good, and that's why he throws hard. And actually, that's why he's a pretty good pitcher. I love that story. I love the Luke Weaver story. He made the roster. He worked his way up to being the closer. And I love the Anthony Volpe story almost as much as I love the Tommy Cutlett story. Honestly, that's why I brought it up. Italian kid
story.
From Manhattan idolizes Derek Jeter and becomes a starting shortstop of the World Series New York Yankees.
It's a good story.
That is a good story.
It's a good.
He's
All
a
right,
good
real quick.
He's a good defensive player, not a great offensive.
Real quick, because we're pretty much out of time.
So shut your fucking mouth.
Real quick, because we're pretty much out of time. John, what's your World Series prediction? What's your World Series prediction?
7. Yankees in 7.
Wow.
Jeffem?
I'm gonna say Yankees in 6.
Really?
Wow.
Pete.
I'm gonna go Yankees in 7. I like that number.
Safe.
It's gonna go all the way to the end.
Stupid. Y'all are stupid. Dodgers in 5.
Fuck you.
Wow. Mark has no love for the Red Sox fan. That makes sense.
No, I'm sorry. I'm completely non-biased.
Mark's being pragmatic here.
You're completely non-biased. Okay.
Dodgers in 5.
It was actually kind of funny. It was funny in the Celtics game. There was a chant that Yankees suck in the Celtics game.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's on brand.
Man.
That's on brand.
So that has been our topics. We will be back next week with our friend Katia Rodriguez del Toro. In the meantime, you can catch up on old episodes on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@iftheseballspod. And don't forget to subscribe to us by tickling that little bell.
Tickle, tickle, tickle.
We would like to thank our guests for joining us this week. Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Gents, always a pleasure.
Yes.
You can also follow or like us on our socials at @iftheseballspod on X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok, and now on Reddit. Our website is www.iftheseballscouldtalkpod.com. This is Mark Pesci, and for my partner John Campania and producer Pete Steffen, that's what we feel they would say if these balls could talk.
Good night.